Going on, everybody? How's it going?
Hi.
Hey, Sam Kit Kat, Dragon. Yeah, we got little dragon stickers, so feel free to slap those on as we go. Hey, Caveman, good to see you as well. Good to see some first-time chatters in VHSK VH Skate. I'll go
Dragon.
Skate as a name, Dragon. Yeah, that's not going to be distracting at all. It's kind of fun. I made little stickers today because hey, we're getting close to the end of the month, which is the end of our dragon giveaway, and I got a lot of these little dragons to give away. Some of them are in fact little, and these will be going in all of the boxes that have not yet been sent out. I'm gonna throw one or two of these in. I've got a couple on the printer right now that are in that silk copper color, and then those will also get added to kind of the mix. And then of course we've got the big brothers or siblings or whatever. So let me show you. This is the original size of this model. I supersized it to 375%, and it made it a lot bigger. You can see some of the lines from the printer on here. This one's kind of a translucent gray. You can't really tell here, but I promise it's kind of see-through. If I get a flashlight going here, it's pretty see-through. Like you can see the light shining all the way through. The really cool thing about this filament though is it's got that glow in the dark sparkle in it. You can kind of see on the camera here. You can kind of see it on the cheek there. Type exclamation point dragons plural in the chat, and you'll see the photo album. I've rearranged the photo album on here, but you'll see a photo of this guy on a shelf with and without light, and the fact like he lights up and it's a full sparkle kind of effect, which is really cool. And then, like I mentioned, I've got a whole bunch of the little baby ones, and then I printed one at 275% size, and this is a marble filament. So this is a different one than one that I had been printing, but this one is also it's a bright white, but you can see kind of the spots in there as well. And so the way they make this plastic is it's like a white filament, but it's got that gray freckle kind of look to it, and so it gives it a nice marble stone kind of appearance, which looks really awesome on these sort of statues. So I've been kind of going a little crazy printing dragons lately. So Bets Weaver Bird, hello. You found me through MakerDeck and through Chris Prillo. Awesome. Well, thanks for dropping by. Um, so Caveman77 did a exclamation point dragons. So that'll take you over to the photo album, and I've been regrouping the photos in there. So instead of just being all of the here's what I'm printing, it's like a whole bunch of finished dragons followed by kind of sections of like here are the solid colors, here are the transition colors, and then under that, and then like the glow in the dark, and then the rainbow, and then under that is like here's what they look like while they print. So I wanted to reorganize that a little bit because if you want to
Dragon.
donate to Dragon, if you want to donate to my Diversity in Tech fundraiser, all that money is going into a pool. So all the money I make as a streamer is going into a pool, and you can do exclamation point money in chat, and you'll see a link to my financial transparency page on my website, Tech Interview Guide, where I'm outlining here's all the money I'm making as a streamer, and then I'm matching all of that money. And that money I found out, so I contacted Hack the Hood in San Francisco, and I am going to get to meet them at the end of June. So while I'm in San Francisco, the morning before I fly out of San Francisco, I'm going to go meet the executive director or the interim director, executive director from Hack the Hood. We're going to meet for coffee, and we're just going to sit down, we're going to chat, and I'm going to give him this donation. And I need to find out from work because I think work is going to match that donation, but I haven't told Hack the Hood yet, so don't tell him. So we're like this close to raising a total of $2,000 for them. We're about $1,600 right now. I'd love to raise like another $200 over the next week if possible. And then I'm gonna match all that, so that'll be 2,000. And then if my workplace will also match that donation, it's gonna give them $4,000. So I'm like super psyched about that. I have to find out like all the rules and stuff about matching donations and so on. Anyway, this is an example of a transition filament. This is one of my favorites. It goes from kind of a black to a gold to a burgundy sort of color, and it just started going from the gold into the burgundy up here on the horns. These are not the dragons I'm giving away, although in the giveaway you are going to get these little ones in the box going forward. If I've already sent you a dragon, I don't know how easily I can send one of these little ones. I do have like little bubble wrap envelopes, but I don't know how much, like, I don't know whether this is actually going to count as a parcel if I try to stick this in one of the little bubble envelopes to mail it or not. But these are really, really cute. And I would love to mail these out to people that I've already sent dragons to. Um, However, I've got 7, 8 dragons left. We've got about a week left, not quite a week. So tonight we're going to give away a couple of these like long, interconnected, sort of articulating dragons. Sunday we'll be giving away more, and then I think I'm going to try to stream on the last day of May, and I'm just going to give away every dragon I have left. You really hope you can win a dragon. I hope you can win a dragon too. So we'll start that giveaway in a little while. Vinayan, good to see you as well. Hello. Let's do some blinky lights and a hello for all the new followers. Uh-oh, that didn't play. The audio. Audio, why you no play? It's going on line 2. All right, let me check my audio settings here. Audio mixer. Let's get Stream Deck going here. There we go. All right, that seems to work now. All right, so hello. We'll give some greetings to those folks. We'll try that again. No audio. Uh-oh, I broke the audio on the blinky lights. So we'll give you some cheers and hellos and greetings. So yeah, thanks for joining in tonight. Good to see you. Uh-oh, it's whipped. Good to see you in chat as well, bud. Let's see, what else have I missed in chat while I was explaining all the dragons? Dragons. Now with more dragons, lots of claps. Sam Kids has so adorable. These little ones are really, really cute. So these were designed by the same person that designed one of the dragon models that I'm giving away. And they go by the name MacGyver. It's like MacGyver from the old TV show, the guy that could like fix anything with like a Swiss Army knife and a roll of duct tape. He was a roller derby coach who also liked to drink beer, and so his nickname on the team was MacGyver, but because he drank beer, they called him MacGybeer. And that name kind of stuck. So you can go to this website here, mcguybeer.xyz, and you can go check out all of his 3D models. He makes all kinds of really cool 3D printable things. So if you're into 3D printing, you can absolutely go check out their website. And we've had a really good conversation over email. He absolutely supports this diversity in tech and has said, hey, if folks want to donate to the fundraiser, anything over $10, he will let me reward you with a 3D printed dragon. So all my donations, all my subscriptions, my Prime subs, ads, all that stuff I outline if you do !money. Here's a link on my website to go see like all my income as a streamer. All that money is going into a pot. And he's like, yeah, if people want to donate, then you can give them a dragon. So to be clear, to use good language here, you are not buying a dragon from me. A $10 donation won't cover the filament and the printing time and the shipping. It won't even cover all that. In fact, the shipping alone within the domestic US is about $10 for the size of the box that I pack these things in. And so a $10 donation is 100% going into that diversity in tech fund, which I'm then matching to give away. So that's where we're at. Question, can I subscribe on each of my email addresses? I mean, you're going to get an email every day for 6 weeks. And yes, it will kind of increase your odds, but I mean, I got a lot of subscribers. So it's not drastically going to increase your odds. And, you know, when you think about it, it is, I mean, it's kind of against the spirit of the giveaway, but, and we've only got a few days left. So in the month. Once this month is over, I'm resetting all the financial markers back to 0, and then everything I make starting July 1st through the end of the year is going to go to another organization, and we'll do another giveaway in November. But I imagine I've got 3 3D printers here that you can watch over on MakerDeck. I'm going to be printing stuff all the time anyway, and so you're welcome to kind of pay attention to the channel. I'm going to be giving stuff away like all the time, so we'll figure out how to make that happen. But if you just want me to print you a dragon, I mean, contact me, let me know. There are links on the website that you can see. So my typical live stream is about giving out interview prep advice and career advice on how to get a job in the tech industry. A lot of the advice I give, though, is general enough that it applies to a lot of industries, a lot of businesses and things like that. So don't feel you can't stick around or you're not allowed to stick around if you're not in the tech industry. If you're interested about getting into the tech industry or an industry who, maybe you're in like a sales or a marketing kind of role, but you also want to get into a tech company, a lot of this advice will still apply. So feel free to slap those stickers at any time. There are a bunch of them for free. There are a couple that if you want to cheer some bits, I will try to interact with them. For example, there's a boop, and I'll wherever it boops on the screen, I'll try to like get my nose under there so you boop my nose. Or there's a mustache one that I'll try to like get underneath and whatever, just for fun because I can. But tonight we're going to do a couple of resume reviews. I had a couple of resumes sent to me. If you would like a free resume review, you're welcome to send it over to this link. And there's a PDF, or there's like an upload form on there for you to send me a PDF. What I do ask is that you anonymize your name and your contact information, and I will review your resume on the stream for free. If you would like a paid resume review, you can send it to me and just in the form to say you're looking for a private review. I do charge $50 for those, but again, all that money is going in this diversity in tech fund. I have to go fix this progress bar though, because the progress bar is broken. We are not at $152. We like cleared out that donation and then some. A guy that I do some tabletop gaming with on Friday came in 2 streams ago and dropped 150 gift subs. And that worked out to almost $500 for me as far as like take home money or whatever from Twitch, which blew my mind. So 150 of you got a subscription to my channel for a month from G Who Is J, or J Who Is G? G Who Is J. His name's Greg. I usually don't dox people, but it's easier just to call him Greg. But so appreciative of community support because all of that money is going into diversity in tech. And that's something that's very near and dear to me. And that's why we're doing this whole fundraiser. So tonight we're going to do a couple of free resume reviews. You're also welcome to reach out to me on LinkedIn. Oh, that's the other button I didn't make. But I can do this one. So I've got, I use the same username on Twitch as I use on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. You're welcome to connect with me on any of those platforms. I think I also made a TikTok account. I may try doing the occasional TikTok video. I feel too old to use TikTok, but that's where all the kids are hanging out these days. And I just want to say like, hey, I'm giving like free career advice, and I might do like little snippets of like, here's a tip about, a resume, idea or whatever, and just get those on TikTok from time to time. I'm horrible at marketing myself though. So if you follow me on TikTok or Instagram, expect those videos and such to be really, really lousy quality, but you got to start somewhere, right? And my kids were thinking of things to do for the summer. So we decided that for the summer, what we're going to have them do is help me out with my YouTube channel and go back and do like some of the channel markers and help with the descriptions and help like slice those videos into smaller bits and like do some video editing and stuff for me. So we're going to keep them busy over the summer as well. Bets asked in chat, do I ever 3D print snakes? No. I haven't yet, but MacGyver does do a snake model. I could do a snake. I have not yet done a snake. Anyway, so yeah, so we got a whole bunch of these little mini dragons about to finish up, and I'll bring them over hot off the press, literally, and then I'm going to start another 3D printed dragon on there. So let me show you the models because I know that's why a bunch of you are here to begin with. I'll show you the models that we're going to have in the giveaway. Then we'll go from there. So this is a rainbow filament. So this transitions through the 3 primary colors, kind of a red into a blue into a yellow. And it's all in the same spool of filament. So I'm not changing the filament color as it goes. It prints flat like this. And then as it prints up layer by layer by layer, it changes the color as it kind of comes off the spool. So this is what we call the MacGyver dragon. And these rainbow colors are amazing. Let me show you the new rainbow filament I just got in today. Give me a sec. This rainbow filament is a little bit darker, so it's not going to be like bright, vivid yellow like this, but it is going to be these really nice dark tones of rainbow colors. And if I remember right, this one also has a bit of a sparkle in it. So this one's going to be really, really amazing. So as soon as these other prints are done, I'm going to throw this spool on and I'm going to start printing these 3D printed dragons in this rainbow filament. So I will need to excuse myself for a few minutes while I go take care of that. Anyway, that's dragon number 1. Dragon number 2 is what we call the Imperial Dragon. And this one was designed by a company called Flexi Factory. I have not heard back from them all month about being able to give these away for donations, but the Imperial Dragon will actually stand up on its own. Just the way they designed it, it'll like the hinges and the little spikes on the back will sort of interlock to hold it in place. So if you put it up on a shelf, it will sit nicely like this. And I actually made an Instagram video with this guy. If you've ever seen the that little meme audio that people usually associate with their pets sitting in awkward positions, like, oh, look at this distinguished gentleman, look at the way they're sitting. Well, I did a video of this and then I spliced in another one as I like faded to black and you see the sparkle. So this is also this translucent gray. It's the same filaments, the translucent gray, which sparkles green in the dark. So this one is available for the giveaway tonight, as is the rainbow one I just showed. So those are the 2 styles. So if you are selected as a giveaway recipient tonight, you'll get to choose which style of dragon. And then depending on the style, I have a couple of dragons printed and you'll get to choose your color. And then I'm like printing dragons like mad over here to try to keep up with demand. Because Friday nights, I've been giving away like 6 of them or 8 of them. I will not be streaming tomorrow night though, so sorry to get your hopes up there. So anyway, those are the dragons we're giving away. Hey, Zooey, good to see you. Zooey, did your dragons come in today? I forget if yours came in today. I got notification from some of them. I think yours is still on the way, actually. So Zooey has a couple of dragons on the way. Sam KitKat got theirs. I had something like a dozen or 14 of them delivered like within the last couple of days. So I've been shipping these all over the place, all over the world. They're also going all over the world. So if you are not in the domestic United States, that's okay. I am shipping a whole bunch of these. And I did talk to my coworker in Germany saying like, hey, do you like, how much would it cost to ship one of these things from say Germany to Norway or Estonia or Finland or, you know, whatever. And he wrote back and he's like, it's like €5, which is approximately $5. So if I can ship all of these over to him and then have him ship them out to all of the European locations, it's going to be so much cheaper than for me to send them individually from here in the States. For me to send each one is going to be like $40 to $70. I might be able to send the whole box of them to him for $70 or $80, and then he can mail them out for like €5 each from there. So I'm going to be doing that. Dropkick, yes, yours is in the mailbox. I did get a notification about yours. So yeah, go check your mailbox. Well, not right now. I mean, stay for the stream, but like go check your mailbox. And then yeah, tag me on Twitter, tag me on Instagram. I'd love to see pictures of the dragons and kind of where you set them up at home. Pink 3DP, or sorry, Red 3DP and Pink 894. They both got their dragons, and they've also gifted dragons to other people as well. Dropkick's like, be right back. So yeah, so a bunch of them got delivered yesterday and today, domestic ones within the United States, because they only take a few days to ship out. The international ones are going out. I'm going to try really hard to get them mailed by Saturday morning. So I'm going to get them boxed up, fill out all the USPS forms, and get them mailed by Saturday morning. Hey, T-Lo, good to see you in chat. Diversity in tech. What languages do we want more of? We want more not white men in tech. That's what we're raising money for. So it's not about diversity of the tech stack. It is diversity of people, because that is something that's very important to me. So I'm raising money for that, and all that money is going to an organization whose primary mission is to raise diversity in tech. Yes, I'm serious. Yeah, not even joking about that. I've been a white dude in tech for 26 years, and it's far beyond time that we have diversity in tech. And so, yeah, I'm raising money for diversity in tech. Stone Monkey Research, good to see you. Thanks for dropping by. Always appreciate the fellow makers and so on coming by and coming through to support the channel. So thanks for dropping by. Thanks for the chat. So tonight we're going to do a couple of tech resume reviews. And again, if you want a private resume review, I do charge $50, but here's the link to submit that resume. And for the private ones, I make you like a private video. It's usually half-hour long, and I go through and I break everything down like bit by bit and give you my thoughts and perspectives on what makes a good tech resume. And then all of that money goes into that diversity and tech fund. I match all that money, and all that money is going away. So catchphrase? No, I don't play catchphrase. Tilo, that has to be the dumbest take I've heard. Well, you don't have to stay. So thanks for coming by. Imagine saying you want less black men in the NFL. Well, you're welcome to your opinion, but that opinion is not welcome here. So you can feel free to leave our channel. We're here to build up community, not tear it down, and not be divisive. So you're welcome to not stay. So that's the fundraiser that we're doing, and that money is going into tech. So yeah. So that group, I'm meeting with them at the end of June, and I'm going to hand over that donation to them, and I'm really excited about that. And then we're going to reset all the accounts, and we're going to raise for a new group to hand that out in December. And then you're tearing down white men in tech. I'm not tearing down white men in tech. There's enough white men in tech, so you're welcome to leave now. So thank you for coming by, but you're welcome to leave. All right, so they're gone. We're not about having that kind of attitude in our chat, so they've been banned. They're the first user I've banned in my channel because I won't welcome that kind of divisiveness. I'm here to help build up a community and not separate. So cool. Well, let's get to those resume reviews. Let me start the giveaway at least, and then so you can do !dragon. Let me put that on here. So !dragon will get you in the giveaway. Once I close off the giveaway and pick a couple of winners, you will need to be in chat because I need to know which style of dragon you want and which color of dragon you want, and then instructions that you're going to need to send to me in order to get that dragon in the mail. And again, I will ship them anywhere in the world. So do !dragon. If you want to see photos, it's dragons plural, and you'll see the photo album from that. But yeah, thanks for swinging by. So I'm going to switch over to a different browser window. I'm going to switch my view over here. And let's pull up that browser. Let's see, that browser is going to be that one. But we're going to be over here. View. Nope, why didn't that work? Let's try this. Suddenly I can't, hey Crashmo, good to see you. Suddenly I can't pull up my browser here. What happened? Oh, I think these other things are overriding it, that's why. Let's see, Chrome. That one's showing up. All right, let's try this. Let's remove. Sorry, bear with me while I add in another browser here. We'll just do browser. And, oh no, not a browser, I want window. Window capture. Browser. And that's coming from here. There we go. All right, let me resize this real quick and reposition it, and then we'll get started on these reviews. And I'll zoom in on them as well so that we can see things a little more clearly. And again, you're welcome to do the little dragon stickers as well. Let me reposition this a little bit on the screen, and then I will zoom in on it as well. So feel free to do !dragon to enter the giveaway. So glad you found the channel. I'm glad you found the channel too. Thanks for swinging on by. Let me make this a little bit wider this way, and then I can zoom in on it a little more. So these are anonymous resumes that were sent to me, and we're going to go through both of these and just give my thoughts on What goes into a good resume? So we're going to look at this one first, and then we'll go on to the second one. So again, if you send me a resume for review, I will ask that you anonymize these details, like your first or your last name, your email address, and your phone number. So please anonymize those as we go. All right, let's dive in. In this case, they had some links to LinkedIn and GitHub, and they also mark very clearly that they have government clearance. So let me start with some preamble before we get into the resume review. When I do resume reviews, these are my opinions, and opinions are like armpits. Everybody's got a couple, and some of them stink. You don't have to take my advice. You don't have to listen to my advice, and you certainly don't have to, implement the advice that I give. But I've been in the tech industry for 26 years. I know what makes a good resume. I've been a hiring manager. I've been an engineering manager. I've been a director of engineering, and so I know what goes into a good resume. So these are just my thoughts and opinions. The first thought and opinion on a resume here, the first thought and opinion on a resume is the resume needs to be a concise list of facts of the value that you bring to a company. It doesn't need to be every single thing you've ever done ever. It needs to be really clear and to the point so that I can find out in a hurry, do you match or meet the qualifications that I'm looking for a particular job post that I've posted. And so that's basically what I'm going to be working through here is I'm going to be looking through the resume and just figuring out at a glance, does this make a good software developer resume? And go from there. Alrighty, Bet's good to see you in chat. Thanks for lurking as well. Cool, so let's dive in a little bit here. So the first thing that this person is presenting is a list of their skills. Now for a bit of backstory, when you submit the resume, I do ask a little bit about, what are you looking for in the review? And this particular person really wants a job. I believe this one was Amazon, but let me double check. The goal is to get an L4 position at Amazon. That's kind of an intermediate level developer. Would this resume catch your attention? What issues do you see with it? So we're going to dive in on that, and then we'll go into the second resume from here. So this person's trying to get a job at Amazon. Amazon cares a lot about the technologies that you have. They also care a lot about, have you been a user of Amazon services? In this case, they've done some AWS. They are also very keen about how are you building things for users and what they call their leadership principles. So let's dive in. So the first thing that they're showing me is skills. This entire block is bold. I would probably unbold this and only throw bold on a couple of things. I would probably add bold on just the main technologies that you think are going to stand out the most to them, or just put these sub headings in bold and leave the rest of it not bold. In this case, the way that I read these lists, most people will read a list left to right on a resume in what we call strength order. So in this case, they're telling me I'm a JavaScript developer who knows Swift, and I also know a little bit of Python, but their primary language is JavaScript. What's interesting about this is they end the list on the first line here after Python with a comma, which tells me they've edited this resume perhaps for this company, but they've left off some skills that they happen to know. What's interesting, though, is this list here is separated with slashes. These are all individual, unique technologies. I would probably remove the comma or remove the slash and just comma delimit all of these. Some people will also say HTML and CSS are technically languages, and that could be up on the top line with other languages, which is fine. Either way, I think is okay. For backend, they do Node.js and Express, MySQL, MongoDB, Core, Data, and Jest. And then for tooling, Git, GitHub, Bash, VS Code. So Bash and VS Code, companies don't care. Companies don't care what shell you use. Companies don't care what editor you use. That kind of stuff can be left off. Docker and AWS is fine to have on here. Now, the fact that they're using things like the command line tool and ECS and so on, and EC2, these are fine. I would probably capitalize EC2 and ECS, though, because those are like actual Amazon technologies. I would also probably put a space before the parentheses here with jQuery and AWS, just to kind of even those things out a little bit. I think the automatic keyword detectors in a lot of applicant tracking systems will have an easier time finding those. But Bash and VS Code, I would take those off. So from there, they're showing me projects and then the education that they did. In this case, they went to Hack Reactor, which is part of Galvanize. And then they're showing other coursework that they've done. Now, this coursework could have been part of their bachelor's degree, in which case I would probably not put this in a whole other heading by itself. I probably would just put it under education. But let's go back up to projects here first before we go too far. Me personally, I'm not a fan of the vertical bar as a separator. Just tell me like the name of the project, comma, and like, was it a group or solo project? And then show me a GitHub link. Or ideally, if it's something that you could put online somewhere, like a Netlify or a Heroku or something like that, like get it online. Let me experience what you've built. Put that online somewhere. Let me give me a link that I can click on to actually go see what you built. That lets me know that not only can you write code, you can write working code because it's in production. It also shows me that you're able to actually put this online somewhere, maybe in a Docker container, maybe it's hosted on AWS. Like put that link on your resume as well, because that just reinforces that you know things like Docker or AWS. So get that online somewhere if you can. Project description, I probably wouldn't put on this line. Typically, the way that I would build out a project would be the name of the project, comma, was it a solo or group project, comma, and then a link to GitHub, and then a link to like a production URL of some kind. Putting the date on here is helpful to know that this was a recent project and it wasn't a project that you did like a decade ago. I would probably keep all your dates over here on the right margin though, including like when you went to school and when you worked at other jobs and things like that. Try to be consistent with where you put those dates so it's really easy to see. In this case, it's right over here on the left margin for all of your projects, and your font size also changed. But here, you're putting it after whether you were like on campus at the school or you did Hack Reactor online. Same thing with these. And then for your jobs, you're putting it in between the name of the company and the city. So it makes it really hard to find the dates to build a timeline of when you did the thing. So I would put all these dates over here on the right margin because this whole right margin is really empty. So get all those dates over on the side. From there, within your project, the first thing that I would put here instead of the date, like I would move the date up to the first line over on the right margin. This next line then, give me a user statement. Tell me why the user would use this application. Who did you build this for? The reason that this is important is it shows that you have empathy for users, and this is something that Amazon cares deeply about. They want to know that the people they hire are doing things with the user in mind, and that they are all about building things the best way possible to give a user a pleasant experience. So having a user statement, not like, I built this Node.js, app with Nginx caching so that users could do something. No, it needs to start with user can register and blah, blah, blah. So what do I see about this project? Initial capacity of 100 RPS. What's RPS? What's the context of RPS? And then optimized to handle 1,000 RPS. It's probably requests per second. A 400% increase in RPS with Nginx caching SQL query optimizations. Your average recruiter is not technology minded. They're not going to know what RPS means. So yeah, it's good that this has quantified information, but in some cases you do need to explain things or not use acronyms. Excuse me. You need to not use acronyms in this case. So I would actually spell out like initial capacity of 100 requests per second, and in parentheses you can say RPS, comma, optimized to 1,000 RPS, comma, 400% increase. So again, bullet points don't need to be grammatically correct sentences, and they don't need to be really, really big sentences. But you don't really tell me what this project is for, aside from you did some Nginx caching. Like, what even is this project? Like, why is a user going to care about what you've built here? You've given me nothing at all about it other than you used Loader.io and Artillery for load testing, but what is the project? Like, if it's about, just, hey, I built a proof of concept so that I could dig into Nginx and SQL query optimizations and whatever, say that. But right now, like project description, because you've anonymized what the project description is, I would put that project description on the next line and give me 10 to 15 words about what that project is. Why did you build this for the user? What does the user do with this? Um, and then give me bullet points about like what did you learn, what was your tech stack, and so on. So the second one here, again, project description kind of got anonymized and lost. Again, I put the date over here on the right edge. Architected the React front-end service of a photo carousel and modal pop-up backed with RESTful API backend. So what I would probably do here is that user statement would be developer users can implement my library to easily build a React-based photo carousel. So you're showing me what the user can do. You're telling me how easy it is for them to do it by like plugging in your library, and now they can go do a thing. So again, you need to start with a user empathy statement here, talking about what it is you built, why they want to use it, how easy it is to use, because that's the kind of thing that Amazon's going to care about here. And then you can tell me you built this, as a RESTful API, wrote business required click tracking logic in React to allow tracking of user interactions across the application. Dockerized the app, created a bash deployment script to easily launch instances and improve deployment speed. Okay. I mean, these are all good things to really stand out to Amazon. I would probably not make the sentences like fully grammatically correct. I would shorten them a little bit because that last sentence is almost going edge to edge. I typically say a bullet point should maybe go 2/3 of the way, at most 3/4 of the way across whatever container you're putting that bullet point in. Don't go edge to edge because people aren't going to be reading all those words anyway. So I'd probably shorten that one to like created Docker and deployment scripts for launching on like AWS EC2 instances to improve deployment speed by 30% or something. Like quantify how much you sped that up by doing this. And then as an iOS project, using core data framework for data persistence, using combined framework to display images for stability and asynchronous calls over new async gateway. But again, you're not telling me like what this project is. So user can blah. That's the user empathy statement that you got to give on these things. That's going to stand out to Amazon, not just the technologies that you've used, but the fact that you've built it for a particular kind of user, for ease of use, or fast loading of blah, so that user has a great experience. Those are the kinds of things that you're going to need to stand out there. All right, so going into the education, Hack Reactor Coding Bootcamp is fine. For coursework, all of this happened as part of your bachelor's, like just given the timeline here. You don't mention any coursework for what you learned at Hack Reactor. So I'd probably move these things as bullet points as part of your bachelor's degree, and then maybe give me at least one bullet point of like, what did you learn at Hack Reactor? Was it a front-end program? Was it a full stack program? Like, tell me a little bit of something so I don't have to go look it up. You could also say like online coding boot camps. So you get rid of this online word. And again, I would put the date over here on the right edge. As far as your coursework goes, University of Anon and then Anonymous Community College. Okay. That's all fine. Experience-wise, Office 360 support analyst. Again, I wouldn't bury the date in between the company and the city. I would get that over on the right edge. And then you could probably say like what your role is, comma, company, comma, city, or you could do company, comma, title, comma, city, or company, city, title. And then which one of those things do you want to bold? I wouldn't bold all of this. Are you trying to emphasize the company where you worked, or are you trying to emphasize the role title? Because the date and the city aren't going to matter to Amazon. So those things don't need to be bold. But you probably don't want to bold your title and the company. I would bold one or the other. If the company is like a big name company, bold the company name, but then do that consistently. You're going to have to do that for both of these companies. If the title is more important, the fact like if you're doing like analyst work for Amazon, then you would, or if that's the kind of role that you're applying to at Amazon, then I would put a bold on the title instead. And then for involvements, fraternities, that's going to matter to some companies, but probably not most. Most companies aren't going to care that you were in a fraternity. The fact that you were treasurer, okay, you can handle money and you can handle it responsibly, hopefully. If that's important to a particular company where you're applying for a job, then great. If they're doing something with financials, great. If you're going to apply for a role on Amazon teams that are dealing with billing, great. But if you're going to go work on like EC2, I would leave this off the resume. I think there's far better things you could put on a resume than unrelated things. Certifications, I would keep all of these things on here, especially the government clearance. So these are fine. But a lot of these things look pretty crammed together in some cases and not others. Like your skills, they're all on one new line each. Your projects have a blank line separating them here. Your education has a blank line separating them, but your coursework does not. Your work experience has a blank line separating them. Your involvement does not, and your certifications do not. Those are the kinds of consistency things, like what we would look for as an eye for detail. So I would reformat these things a little bit differently. Again, I would probably put all of this on a single line, put the date over on the right edge, and I think that it'll shrink these down a little bit, but it's going to clear that up a little bit. So when I tell people about building out a resume, the number one advice I give is make a big resume with all of the content and then trim it back down to one page as you apply for a particular role at a company. By trimming it down to one page, it's forcing you to think about what you don't want to keep on the page and what's important to that company based on the role, based on the company, what's important to them. For someone like Amazon, they care about leadership principles and the fact that you were a treasurer in that fraternity. It's kind of a leadership-ish sort of role, so maybe it's okay to keep that. But for your average company, if they're not dealing with financial stuff at all, I don't know that you would need to keep this. Now, depending on what you did as treasurer, if you were like keeping books and you had to keep track of data and keep that private, then that's a privacy, like a data privacy kind of thing. And I would mention that as part of this role. Like tell me, like explain why you're putting this on the resume. Like give me a little bit of background or context about like why you felt it was important for me to see that you were a treasurer of a fraternity. Because again, when I'm looking at this resume, I'm trying to find out in a hurry, how are you bringing value to my company? So those would be kind of my generalized thoughts about this particular resume from here. Cool. All right. Let me go back through chat. RC Maniac got their dragon. Awesome. Post some pics on that. Dropkick says the stone filament looks awesome. Tag you when you post some pics. Awesome. Yeah, so Dropkick got, I think, the Imperial Dragon in a marble filament. It's not the marble filament that I showed with this one. It's a slightly different one. This one is more of a white color, where Dropkick got one is more of a pale gray color. The other dragons are done in the silk copper. And so I'm going to take a break for about 2 minutes while I change into this rainbow filament, and we're going to get some more dragons going. So chat amongst yourselves. I'll be back in a moment. All right, I'm back. I may have found my new most favorite filament. Let me switch my screen over here. This filament, it's a shame you can't see this well on camera. Let me try and hold it this way, see if the camera will pick this up a little better. No, not so much. You can kind of see the sparkle in that filament here. It is a really, really nice like rainbow filament with a really nice sparkle in it. It did extrude a little bit. Again, you're not going to be able to see this very well on the camera, unfortunately. I'm going to take some pictures of this and get that up on the photo album a little later. This filament, it's a tiny bit translucent, but the sparkle in there is like itty bitty tiny. It's going to make for some really nice dragons. I kind of want to order a second spool so I can like get 2 dragons printing at the same time on that one. Hello. Let's see, what else did I miss in here in chat? So RC Maniac also had some advice. Government clearance will get interest in certain industries for sure, and that'll definitely help with AWS. There's enough room in that sentence. You can just type out requests per second. Yeah. Haven't gotten photos and whatnot yet. No worries. We've been left alone. I'm eating directly out of a tub of ice cream, and you can't stop me. This is true. This is true. Cool. Well, hello to all the viewers. If you're still lurking, hello. Magnificent username. Stop you. I'm going to join you. Well, now I want to join you too. I think we have some rainbow sherbet upstairs. I'm not going to eat ice cream on stream though. It'll numb my mouth and I'll talk funnier than I usually do. So I'm just going to hydrate for a sec. Loyal Moses is a bad influence. Drinking mango Nas. 7:30 at night. Good times. Good times. All right, cool. So that was the first resume review. Let's do the first giveaway, shall we? If you have not yet done !dragon in chat, go do that. Let's see how many folks we have in the giveaway so far, and then we'll do the second resume review. So we only have 8 entries. I see 16 people viewing at the moment, which means half of you don't want a 3D printed dragon. Which means half of you are here for tech advice and half of you are here for the dragon. I see how it is. But if you're here for the tech advice, you can certainly do the !dragon and get in the giveaway for sure. And if you've already received a dragon like RC Maniac, then you are welcome to have it shipped to someone else or gift it to somebody in chat. So you'll have that option. So RC Maniac, so the way all that happened, Pink 3DP won a dragon, asked to gift it to Pezliz, and so Pezliz got a dragon, and then Pezliz had also entered the giveaway, and then I drew Pezliz's name as a recipient, and Pezliz, I think, gave hers to RC Maniac. I don't think RC Maniac has since won one as part of a giveaway, but I've also got stickers. So that latest stream stickers thing over here, you can go slap some dragon stickers on the screen. They're free. We'll get a little hype going here for the dragon giveaway. How's that? So show me some hype. Show me that you're there. You're paying attention in chat. Bets, came out of lurk just for the giveaway. So you think you did win one? Oh, that's right. Yeah, and you said to redraw. That's right. But if you do win again, then you are welcome to gift it to someone else in chat, or you can give me an alternate name and address of where you'd like me to ship it to. But ideally, one per household, so that everybody has the opportunity to receive a 3D printed dragon. One piece of advice I was given on resumes, if you haven't heard me say it before, if you're a U.S. citizen, write that on your resume. I would not. I don't know that that's necessarily important. It will be for some companies who work. I think it'll be really clear in their job description if they require you to have U.S. citizenship or they require you to have government clearance. That kind of requirement will typically be in the job post, and you applying implies that you have met that requirement, and that'll be like one of the things that they're going to check on when they actually interview you. I don't think it's something that you want to put on a resume, because if you put it on a resume and someone else doesn't, now that recruiter's like, well, is this other person not a citizen? or because that's not typically something that they're going to care about on a resume. It'll be something that it will definitely, if it's important to them, it will absolutely be part of their checklist on that very first phone call that they make. Or they'll follow up in an email and say, hey, we want to schedule this call. By the way, we need the following information. And as part of going to a website to schedule that call, it'll probably be like, do you have military background? Are you a citizen? Blah, blah, blah. Can you get clearance or have clearance, et cetera, et cetera. And you'll fill all that out. So I wouldn't put it on a resume, though. I don't think it's necessary. That's Weaverbird says, spending time with the parents. That's cool. Raven's Creations. Good to see you in chat as well. Hello, hello. All right, so slap some dragon stickers on there. They're free. So scroll down on the browser window. You'll see the little panel of those dragon stickers. Let's get some of those on here. And if you've got bits that you want to spend, I've got other stickers as well. Feel free to drop some other stickers. But let's see some hype in chat for this giveaway. I'm going to drum roll you just to get you excited a little bit. So yeah, we're gonna draw a winner for a dragon. Then we're gonna do the other resume review, and then we're gonna do another giveaway. So if you're in the giveaway, you can stay in the giveaway. That's the neat thing about my giveaway is even if I close it to draw a winner, I can reopen it. Dragon. This one's cute. That one's cute too. I like the little blue and green one, the rainbow one. So yeah, dragon. Let's get some dragons on there. Spam the dragons. So yeah, we'll do a second giveaway, and then the recipient of the first giveaway, I'm also going to ask you for a random number, and I'm going to draw somebody out of my email database. And so you can go check out more information about the my email subscription over in the chat over there behind all the dragons. And that email series is going to give you one email every day for 6 weeks. And it's going to give you just generalized advice. Got a dragon right in the middle of my forehead there, right there. It's going to give you some generalized interview advice on how to answer questions, but from the perspective of why do we ask you this question. And so you'll get one of those emails, but we're also drawing people out of that database. So as we've been drawing winners for the giveaway or recipients of the giveaway, I'm also asking them like, hey, give me a random number. I'm going to go find that person in my database and I'm going to contact them via email. And I've had at least 2 or 3 people write me back on that email with their name and their address going, oh, cool. I actually tried entering in chat and didn't get a dragon, so I'm glad I subscribed. And some of them are like, I wasn't even looking for career advice, but this stuff has been helpful. So I've had a couple of notes about that too. So magnificent username, guys. The only one dropping emojis. Let's see some hype in here so that we can draw some names. If you've got some friends who might like a 3D printed dragon, invite them along. And once I do the second resume review, we'll do a second giveaway. So hang around. And when I draw, you will need to be present because I need 2 pieces of information from you. One is the style of dragon you would like. And the second bit of information I need from you is which color you would like. So we'll go from there. Guts. All right. Come on, let's get some hype. Hey, Core Count. Good to see you in chat as well. All right, there we go. Some hype. Raven's Creations. Oh, a baby Groot. I actually found a really nice filament that I printed a baby Groot in, and it's this it's not a color transition. The filament's made by Prusa, the company that makes my printers, and it's called Mystic Green. And if you've ever seen the movie The Mask with Jim Carrey, and there's that scene where he's like holding the mask and he kind of tilts it and you see the color sort of shift, that's what this filament does. It's kind of like a shiny green, but when you tilt it one way, it kind of goes into a brown color and back again. That would actually be a really nice color to do the dragons into. I'll have to dig that one out and do a dragon in that one. Yeah, it's kind of a shimmer sort of look to it. It's called Mystic Green. I've got another one. It's called Mystic Brown, which is kind of like a brown-purple kind of mix, which would look interesting on a dragon too, I guess. But yeah, if you would like to, so while we're waiting for a little more hype, let's get some more hype in chat. If you would like to donate to the Diversity in Tech cause and not get banned like that other person got banned earlier for trying to be divisive in their thinking, then I'm allowed to gift you the MacGyver dragon. So this dragon here, I'm allowed to gift these out for people who would like to make a donation, and any donation over $10. And you can pick. So instead of picking like a dragon that I've already got printed, you can, when you send me in that donation, you can tell me what color of dragon you would like, and you can basically pick any of the colors that you see in the photo album that you view by doing Bang Dragons plural to go see that photo album. I can basically reprint all of those. So, all right. Well, Betts is really super excited about this giveaway. So, let's do the first drawing here. How many we got in there? We got 9 entries. Cool. Thanks, Raven Creations. So that's the page if you want to, well, that's for the donation. That's one way of donating. If you do Bang PayPal, you get my PayPal address. And if you go to Bang Money, it'll take you over to the webpage where I kind of show you all the transparency, and there's a Buy Me a Coffee link over on that page. So lots of ways that you can donate. If you don't want it to be public as part of Twitch, you can send it to me privately. I won't announce your name or anything like that. But yeah, any subscriptions, any gift subs, any bits, donations through Twitch, any ad money that I get, because I know there's occasionally ads if you're not subscribed to my channel, or if you're watching anonymously, you'll see ads from time to time. But all of these videos go up on YouTube later, and those won't have ads. As far as I know, they won't have ads. I don't have enough subscribers on YouTube to monetize over on YouTube anyway. So, all right, let's yo-yo according to Stone Monkey Research. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna close the giveaway, but we're not resetting the giveaway. As soon as I draw a winner, I'm gonna reopen it so that other people can continue to join, and it doesn't reset anything. So everybody that's still in there will still be in there, except for the person that just received that giveaway. So our first winner of the evening is Raven's Creations. Congratulations, Raven's Creations. You have the opportunity to choose a 3D printed dragon. So I have 2 different styles. And then depending on the style you choose, you will get to choose one of, wait, what? Yeah, exactly. So you have the choice between the Magaibir dragon, or what we'll just call the regular dragon, because Magaibir is hard to spell, or Imperial dragon, which is this one that kind of stands up on his own. So you can choose regular dragon or Imperial dragon as the style that you would like. Or if you really want, I do have some of these. This is the Kali dragon, also made by Magaibir. I have it in a few different filaments. If you would rather have one of these larger ones, this one is the glow-in-the-dark sparkle that you'll see in the photo album. This is the charcoal gold, and it's just starting to transition into the burgundy on the top of its horns. If you would care for these larger ones, these are also hollow, or this is a marble filament at slightly smaller size. But if you'd like one of these articulated dragons, you can tell me which style of those you would like. You want the Imperial one, please? Okay. All right, so Imperial Dragon, let me show you your color choices. And also the recipient tonight, oh, I forgot to grab. Y'all, that rainbow glitter filament is amazing. I can't wait to see that dragon turn out. So the silk copper mini dragon finish printing, and they are absolutely fantastic in that silk copper filament. This one's got a little bit of a hair running from his tail to his chin, but that's the silk copper from Polymaker. And so the recipients tonight, with your dragon, you're also going to receive one each of these 2 little mini dragons. So this one here is a transition filament of blue and aqua. So it kind of started on that aqua color and then goes to a darker blue. And you'll also get a silk copper. So that's going to be in the box with your Imperial dragon. But yeah, now I've got like oodles of these to give away. So I'm not going to print any more of these little ones, just because I don't anticipate having to print more than like another dozen dragons by the end of the month. So Imperial Dragon. So there's the glow-in-the-dark sparkle, or this one, which is a really cool dark gold color. This one has also been pretty popular. So it's more of a brownish gold, but it looks really, really great in that Imperial style. Or I've got one in a rainbow filament. So this is the rainbow filament. His stomach started out blue and then transitioned into the blue and just started going back to the burgundy to turn back into blue at the top of the horns. You want me to pick the color to give you a surprise? Okay. But if the next giveaway recipient chooses Imperial and I only show them what's left, it's not going to be a surprise. Because if they also choose, we'll tell you what, we'll do this. If the next giveaway recipient also chooses an Imperial Dragon, I'll let them choose, and then I'll choose one of the other two for you. So we'll do that. Okay. You love a surprise. Sounds good. So the Imperial Dragons are 27 inches long, and the MacGyver Dragons are about 23 inches long. So they're pretty lengthy for sure. But yeah, that new rainbow filament, it's gonna be nice. Check that out on MakerDeck later, because I'm on MakerDeck. If you go check that out on Twitch, if someone could drop a link to MakerDeck, my printers are cycling on there, and I added a fourth camera to kind of give an overview of the whole workbench as well. And it'll cycle through those cameras every 30 seconds as long as I'm on MakerDeck. So you can go check that out if you like, and you'll get to watch that one print, and that'll be on a future giveaway. That one's going to take about 26 hours to print, so it should be ready if I do another giveaway on Saturday. It should be ready for that. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, these little mini dragons are pretty great. That's a silk copper one. Silk copper is like a really bright, shiny. It's a very orange metallic sort of color. It is a little bit lighter, just given the lights and so on in here, but it's a really, really nice color. Cool. And as always, you're welcome to drop other questions about interview prep and so on in here if you'd like. You can certainly drop other questions and comments and all kind of stuff. Just looking back through chat here. Poor RC thought the giveaway was rigged. So many refer to me as simply RC for RC Maniac, but then we have Raven's Creations. Y'all are cracking me up. All right, so RC Maniac says, let me explain my earlier comment. So this is the one about specifying on your resume that you're a U.S. citizen. Basically, every tech company I was applying to, since I'm U.S. based, had small text that isn't physically small, that had requirements on being a U.S. citizen. From what I've heard from coworkers who are green card holders or visa holders, they only get targeted by recruiters simply because they're Indian, Chinese, etc., and probably lowballed on salary and similar. Just like how JD seems to have broad requirements, the job description seems to have broad requirements like must have 8 to 15 years of Java, but it's a front end role. Must be a US citizen is probably boilerplate on many of these. And if it is actually important to a recruiter, it offers a way to easily move on or not move on rather than going through a full interview before finding out. So they typically won't do a full interview. That first phone call that you have with a recruiter is typically only going to be like 10 to 15 minutes long. And it's just, hey, we want to I want to just kind of do a quick check that you are the person that applied for this job. You know what the job's about. Let me give you specifics about what the interview process is going to be. Maybe verifying salary and so on. And again, if being a U.S. citizen is important to them, it'll come up in that conversation. If you must be a citizen. If it is in the job description and you're not a citizen, if you are a green card holder, like I was a green card holder for over a decade, and I was still applying for jobs, and I don't remember ever having to specify on an application that I was a citizen, but it would typically be in a phone call like, are you authorized to work inside of the United States? So it's not so much that you're a citizen, it's just, are you authorized to work within the United States? If you have a green card, you're fine. If it is a company-sponsored green card, it can be a little trickier because you have to transfer from one company to another. For myself, I was on a marriage-based green card, and so it made it really easy. I wasn't tied to a company, and I could just go work for anybody. If it's important to the company, though, that you are specifically a citizen, then they'll ask. They'll ask in that first phone call, but it's not typically something that I think you need to disclose on a resume. I think it can bias for or against you, especially if people hear that advice and go, oh, if I'm not a citizen, I need to say so on my resume that I'm not a U.S. citizen. That could also be a point of bias as well. So Of the 50 or so recruiter calls I had, only 2 asked for confirmation that I was a U.S. citizen, but nearly all of them had the boilerplate that said it. Yeah, and I think a lot of companies will. And some of that just might be that they don't want to have to deal with, people from other countries. Because again, there are limitations on how a company can do business with an entity in some other country, whether you're an independent employee or a contractor or working as part of a business. They may have restrictions on whether or not they can do business with you. So again, if it's important to the company, they'll ask in that first phone call. But I would say apply anyway. Don't let it hold you up from applying for that job. I think it's more important that you apply for the job than worrying about that. If it's important to them, they'll ask, and then if you're not a U.S. citizen and they have to move on with you, then that's on them. It's not on you. I would say apply for that job anyway. I think most of that boilerplate is to prevent recruitment firms and middlemen. Yeah, and they'll typically also say that in the job post, like, we want to hear from individuals, not from recruiting companies or agencies and things like that. Those are usually pretty clear in those job posts. Yep. Yeah, RC Maniac, just to be clear, I always appreciate your insight and your input. So just in this case, respectfully disagree. But yeah, we're still buds, right? High five. I think it's important to disagree in tech too, and be able to do so in a respectful way of just, you got your take, I got my take, but we don't have to be as divisive as the person that I kicked out of chat earlier. They were clearly being divisive. So, alrighty, well let's dig into a second resume review. Funny how as soon as I did that giveaway, our viewership dropped because people didn't win. I'm giving away another one. The giveaway is still open. If you do bang G, we can still see that there are still 8 entries in there. So the giveaway is still going. Oh, the last giveaway was. Let me reopen it. And now if I do bang G, there are 8 entries so far and has been running for 45 minutes. So it's keeping track of everybody that previously entered. It's just my giveaway bot. I can reopen it. So you don't have to re-enter. Some people will like close it off and re-enter. Specifically so that it clears out everybody that left. But, we've been streaming for about an hour. I got another resume review to get through, and then we'll do a second giveaway, and then we'll kind of wind down for the night and find somebody to go raid. So. All right, cool. So yeah, do !dragon at any time. You're also welcome to slap those stickers on here too. Let's go back over to this screen. And I will attempt to go find my other browser with the resumes in it. There it is. And we're going to go do the second resume. All right, so here's the second resume that we're going to review for the evening. This one, they took their name off completely, but they have LinkedIn, GitHub, and a LeetCode profile on here as well. I would say the LeetCode profile is probably not as important as you think it is. A lot of companies aren't going to care so much about like the competitive programming side of things. If they really care about things like LeetCode, I mean, they'll probably ask for it specifically. I don't think that it's important to have on the resume though. I think LinkedIn and GitHub are pretty necessary, but I would take the LeetCode link off of here. I don't think that that's really going to help. Let me give you some backstory on this resume. Let me go find that real quick. This resume specifically, they were, I believe, a new graduate. I'd like to get critiqued on how I can improve my resume. Being a new graduate, getting calls is a challenge. So one of the things that I talk about on the stream a lot is how do you stand out on a resume? How do you get noticed? Because getting that first job in tech is always going to be the hardest thing. How do you differentiate yourself? And I've talked several times about like building a flow chart of like, if you get this far and then they don't continue, here's some things that you could try. In this case, they've got a resume and they're not getting phone calls. So that tells me that there's something about their application that's either being rejected or being ignored or not being found within applicant tracking systems that's causing them not to get a phone call. In this case, they are based in India, based on information that they provided. So if they're looking for a job in India, then that's one thing. If they're applying for a job outside of India, then it could be a geographic bias happening where they are very clearly presenting on the resume that they're in India. Let me zoom in on it here a little bit as well. They are presenting that they are living in India and they're working in India currently, or that they have done work in India. Um, but they're trying to get noticed by other companies. So again, the question here is, are they looking for work in India or are they looking for work outside of India? Because that'll make a difference for how to target your resume and so on from here. Core Count says in chat, the thing that throws me off when reading a resume is when someone lists a specific product but gets the version wrong, like experience working with Windows Server 2018. There is no such a thing. If you are well versed enough in those technologies to know that that's not a thing, then you're probably going to be able to sort of catch other things on a resume that look like this person's blatantly lying or, putting other false things on the resume, and you'll just pass on them. But again, the recruiters aren't typically going to know that kind of thing. They're going to see, oh, Windows Server 2018, that sounds important, and they're going to pass it on to a hiring manager who is going to know those things if that's important to them. But if they don't care about Windows Server at all, and they see that on the resume, they're like, all right, Windows Server, whatever, they're not going to even bother looking up that version. Now, if they said something like Python 5, any Python developer knows it's only at 3.10, 3.11 is coming out. Python 5 is not a thing. Python 4 is like barely a thing. So some things are going to be easier to spot than others. When it comes to major technologies like Windows Server 2018, and that's not a correct version, was it a typo or are they lying on the resume? And sometimes as you read through the resume, you can start to get a hint here of like whether that's possible or whether that was a thing. And it'll, and there'll be other things, within the resume that'll kind of feel off, at which point, if anything feels off in a resume, they're just going to dump the whole resume and they'll be like, there's something off about this, and they'll just dump it. So from an overall layout point of view, let me zoom out on this one. So from a layout point of view, there's a lot of empty space up here. And I'm guessing that this is where their name would have been. What they did is they zoomed out on the resume and they took a screenshot of it, and it looks like they've cleared out some content. But there's also this empty block of content down here in the bottom left corner. So it does look a little bit imbalanced. Me personally, I'm not particular about two-column formats. I have heard anecdotally that applicant tracking systems, if they can detect two columns, that the preference that's coded into most ATS software is that the left column is less important and the right column is more important. And so if you do a two-column layout, you typically want your left column to be skinnier and hold less important information than what's on the right side. The things on the right side, it may give different weight values to the keywords that it finds based on which column it sees it in. I haven't verified that with anybody, but it was something that I've heard from a recruiter about applicant tracking systems. So I wanted to pass that along as like something to maybe keep in mind with that. RC Maniac says, somehow this resume reminds me of a product description, like if you went to a conference and there was a flyer about what a company was selling. Interesting. Well, we'll dive in a little bit and we'll see what we have here. So they're listing their GPA up here right away as part of their education. Now I can't highlight anything on here because it was a screenshot that was embedded into a PDF. So I can't highlight anything. The fact that the name of their school wraps looks a little weird. So it's already starting off on like it would have been nicer if they did this a slightly different way. To some companies, where you went to school is more important than like the projects that you worked on and some of the skills that you know, especially if it's like a really popular school and really well-known, well-respected education facility. For others, it's less important. Me personally, I say put the education at the bottom. Once you've got like a little bit of work in the tech industry, nobody cares where you went to school. They're going to care more about your work experience and projects. But if it's important to you that this is prominent at the top of your resume, then do that. From here, they break their skills down into programming languages, databases, frameworks, and cloud computing services. I'm not a fan of bullet points. I'm not a fan of like the vertical bar, like just put commas in between things. In this case, the bullet point, the applicant tracking system is going to split on that anyway. It may split on that vertical bar, but from a human reader point of view, like you have to keep that in mind too. Like the first thing you have to get through is the applicant tracking system. But from there, a human being is reading this. And so it has to be readable to a human being. And again, the thing with dates, you're kind of burying the dates here right in the middle of the page. It does make it a little harder to find those dates, especially when some of the dates are going to be over here with your education. Some of them are over here with your experience. I would probably, if anything, I would move the education over to the right column, maybe down at the very bottom, and see if there's any other information on here that you could move over into that left column. Either that or just figure out a way to reformat this into a single column and just put everything in a single column, similar to the last resume that we reviewed here. And if you want to see that review, you can go check that on YouTube as well. I'm going to split these videos later to be separate videos on YouTube. All right, so let's take a look here. So from a skills point of view, these skills look fine. They're showing me different programming languages. JavaScript has a capital S. So again, someone else mentioned in chat, like pay attention to detail on things like that. Same thing with versions. So the point that Core Count was making about, having strange versions of technologies on here, or is that an actual version for that particular technology? You want to make sure that you're spelling things the way that that the developer of that technology expected it to be spelled. Again, it's just an eye for detail. Otherwise, that's the only one that stands out to me as being a little off. Most other people, put a lowercase SQL on Postgres, or they just call it Postgres with no QL on there. These other ones seem fine. Volunteering, CP lead, code chief, AIT. Competitive programming lead. So again, a lot of companies aren't going to care about competitive programming. All this tells them is that you work very, very quickly. You still have to know how to write algorithms and get through problems and so on in a hurry. And so your recall is really fast. But a lot of the things that you're doing in these competitive programming things are things like leak code challenges, which are not really indicative of what you're doing day to day. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I would say, like in the US at least, I don't think that there's a lot of weight given to competitive programming. The fact that this is under a volunteer sort of role here, as a competitive programming lead, you organized and managed various workshops teaching students the fundamentals of programming and providing a blueprint to start learning data structures and algorithms. Okay. So that's okay, but I don't think, I would say, you did that as a volunteer, and you're telling me the organization that you did it for, but again, I don't think it's important to really highlight that this is part of a competitive programming kind of thing. Also conducted various contests in college to promote a competitive coding environment in college. Is that part of being that lead as a volunteer? Well, in this case, you conducted contests, okay, to promote a competitive coding environment in college. Okay. Again, to me, competitive programming has very little value to me. And it's going to be that way for other companies. So similar to what I say on other resume reviews, you only want to put on a resume what's important to the company where you're applying for a job. It's really hard to write like a one-time resume where you build like the one perfect resume and you give that to everybody. That's typically not a thing. I think it's important to customize a resume for that particular role where you're applying. And so my typical advice is go build a big resume, trim it down to one page when you're ready to apply for a particular job. So go build a resume with all of these skills, all these technologies, all your volunteer work, and what you did with competitive programming and leading and organizing these events and so on. But then when you go to apply for a job, if that kind of thing's not important to them, take it off the resume. In this case, there's a lot of empty space on the page, and so maybe they left it here because they needed to fill up the space with something. For me, though, the fact that they've done internship roles and they're trying to get a job, I would rather see project work on this resume. And we do see some project work, but we'll talk about like how to expand this out a little bit. I think expanding those projects and promoting the projects a little bit more as a new graduate, I think is going to be more important than highlighting this sort of thing. So again, I think the format of the resume in this case could be shifted a little bit where there's not as much prominence put on the leak code and the competitive programming aspect of things. Why is a credential ID listed? RC Maniac was asking in chat. So for this certification, they're listing a credential ID. Some credentials actually have a verification where they can copy and paste that and just verify that that's a real credential and verify that they actually got that particular credential. In this case, it was Google Compute Engine. Um, Google, Amazon, and Azure all have their certifications, and I believe they have verification tooling where you can put in an ID and verify that, yes, Ian Douglas got that certification on such and such a date, and you can get some context about that certification. And so it's just an extra verification step, because otherwise you could say like, oh yeah, I've got all these certifications, but this is just an extra step of proving that you actually have that certification. So yeah, having the certification on there is really prominent and really important. I think that it's a good thing to have on there. Let's go up and look at the experience. So in this case, this person is highlighting their work experience and then putting the project work underneath. The fact that they've worked several internships, I think, is more important than the project work. And so I like that they've got it in this order. They've got a lot of their technical experience where it's relevant work experience, and then they're listing their projects after that. So let's dive in on this a little bit. In this particular case, their very first internship role, they don't tell me anything about it. All these other internships and so on that they've done, they're giving me a lot of bullet points. Well, except in this last one, they only give me one bullet point. But they're giving me a lot of information, but this one they're not giving me any at all. And they've been there since last November. So November, December, January, February, March, April, May. I mean, presuming they were there at the beginning in November and it's already the end of May, if they're still there, that's 7 full months. Like, tell me what you were doing for 7 months at this company. Like, you had to have been doing something here. Stealth startup for a month, maybe 2 months total. Another one where July through October, so July, August, September, October for 4 months. This internship, May, June, July for 3 months. So they've got a number of internships for a respectable amount of time. But this one, they've been an intern for 7 months and they're not telling me anything about it. So that feels weird. Stealth startup, do I believe in stealth startups? I know that stealth startups are a thing. The fact that you were actually an intern for a stealth startup makes me think that the founders of that startup were really just taking advantage of your work. But in this case, they're actually telling you who's actually running that stealth startup by providing their LinkedIn profiles. I typically don't care about seeing references on a resume at this point because I think asking people for references is kind of a silly thing in our industry. And just asking for references in general. And I joke often, it's like, hey, give me a list of the 3 people that are going to say the nicest things about you. That's really how I feel about reference checks. So having references on here, okay, it gives some proof that this startup was real, because I could go look up both of these profiles, but you're really making extra work for me in that case. So is it important? I mean, part of me wants to go look up their profiles right now. So I'm going to go look at least one of their profiles. At least the one that doesn't have all the random numbers at the end. So they're the startup from July to October 2021. I mean, the first reference on here, this Akash Tanwar, they don't have any experience on their profile that overlaps this date range from July to October. So this first reference October to November 2021. So this person doesn't have anything that overlaps into October. They do say that as of November 2021 to present, they're building something. They're tokenizing human potential and creating a new asset class of the future, which tells me nothing at all. Helping creators raise capital from fans. All right, buzzwords. Doesn't tell me what their business is actually about. So is it legit? Maybe. But the fact that they're listing a date that even the founder doesn't list throws this into suspicion for me. Do I feel like going and looking up the other one and like typing in like a hexadecimal random number? Not really. So I'm not even going to look up that second one because I can't click on that as a link. Worked on developing the UI for the CXO suite for professional service providers and internet entrepreneurs, ensuring seamless navigation and responsive design. This is a lot of buzzwordy stuff that I think you could trim down and just say, I did UI UX for pleasant user experience. Bullet points shouldn't wrap, but that's the nature of having a really narrow container to put all this stuff in. Help fast track the development of the product. well, yeah, you were only there for 2 months, so you helped the development of the product. Fast track, I don't know about that. Again, for this 1K Karana Bazaar, you don't tell me anything at all. You've been there the longest of all your internships. You've been there the longest. Um, it's overlapping with still being in school, but you're not telling me anything about it at all. So that would be the first thing I would do. I would add some information about this Karana Bazaar place. Stealth startup. I mean, it's not stealth anymore. The founder has actually given it a name. So go put that name on your resume, that they can go find it from there. Now I am going to go type in this other, and sorry, 7859671 7A. So they are calling themselves a software consultant. They list themselves as a CTO of a completely different company in this time frame of October to November. They also call themselves a vice president of Goals 101 within this time frame. But they don't even mention a stealth business by the other name that the other co-founder gave. So that immediately throws this whole thing into suspicion for me, that this date range doesn't match either of the people that you're listing as a reference. I would throw this out completely. I would stop reading your resume at this point, because it's suspicious, and I need to find out in a hurry. Do you have the skills that I'm looking for this particular job? And yeah, you've got the skills, but as I'm looking through the experience here, something doesn't add up. Be sure to have a good answer of what you did between July 2018, July 2021. It is a big gap, but yeah, they're in school from August 2018 to present. So Core Count was asking in chat, like, what was with the gap of time between this internship and this next internship? So from July 2018 to July 2021. So they started school after this internship. Somehow they got an internship doing web development and then started at school. And then as part of their school, it looks like they found these last 3 internships. They had this internship. It looks like they left that internship and went to another internship, left that internship, went to another internship, which makes it feel a little odd as well that you're doing back-to-back internships while you're still while you're still in school. So again, a lot of the dates and the overlaps and how these things work, again, I don't know the school. I mean, it could be that the school has like long-running part-time sort of co-op kind of things. I mean, that's what my college did. My 3rd year of college, we had a project that basically we were effectively interns for other companies for the entire final year of school. So from September to April, we were interns effectively in small team internships at several companies. So it is possible to do that on like a part-time basis. So we basically had classes in the mornings, and we'd spend the afternoons working on other projects or homework or working on our internship project. And then occasionally we wouldn't have a class on a particular day, and we would like go to that office and actually work with that team. In my team's case, it was in a whole other city, and so it wasn't very convenient to actually drive 2 hours to that other city to actually attend, stand-ups and so on. But we might get on a phone call, or we would email back and forth like what our status was and things like that. So it is possible that maybe this has a similar kind of co-op internship kind of feel, but the fact that this person has done back-to-back internships like this, but the dates on this stealth startup don't line up with what the founders or the supposed founders or references of that startup claim on their LinkedIn profile. So linking to their LinkedIn profile where I can't verify this information puts the whole resume into suspicion for me. And so I would, at this point, if I were the hiring manager and I was like getting ready to schedule this call, I'd be calling my recruiter and say, hey, shut down that interview. I'm not going to call that person after all. And they're going to give you a phone call and say, hey, sorry, we decided not to move ahead with you. And you don't know why. You submitted a resume you thought was okay, and now you're not moving forward. This would be a reason why. Full stack internship for this company, Desecto, responsible for the development of the front end for the data anonymization application, improving user experience and scaling up the development rate. So again, with scaling up the development rate, like that's very buzzwordy and doesn't tell me anything. Like if you improved a process that made something 25% faster, then tell me what that was. But just saying you scaled up the development rate, or you helped fast track the development of the product, like that doesn't actually tell me anything at all. I mean, they hired you as an employee, presumably with the idea of you're going to be part of the team so that we can deploy this thing faster. You're going to help us do that work so we can get this thing out the door. That's why they hire employees. Putting that as a bullet point on here doesn't give me any value at all. Design and learn the development of front-end design using HTML, CSS, Dreamweaver, Photoshop. Also learn the basics of JavaScript. So here they put JavaScript with a capital S. So again, consistency, eye to detail. Completely revamped the ongoing projects with the latest front-end technologies, ensuring seamless navigation, improved UI. A lot of buzzwords in here. Like, give me more concrete, like, I learned to do this, I implemented React, which saw a 20% increase or 20% decrease in load time. Like, give me quantifiable information, because right now I'm not getting a lot of, like, I'm not getting a lot of value out of your resume. Like if I looked at this resume going, I need to call this person about applying for a job with my company, I'm going to read through this and go, meh. Like there's nothing in here that's like, whoa, I need to call that person because of that thing that they did. Developed a front end for a calling-based CRM with added privacy preservation. Again, that's too vague. You're not giving me actually any information here. So you developed the front end. You've already told me that because you're full stack. You've already told me that you're working on the user experience and working on front end. So you don't have to repeat this over and over again. This is the kind of stuff where you can reduce this by making these bullet points not grammatically correct and shortening the overall length of what you're putting on the resume. It doesn't need to be this long. It doesn't need to be this explanatory, but you need to stop using buzzwords and you need to actually tell me in technical terms what you did. I think that's what's missing on this resume and could be contributing to why you're not getting called for interviews. Because I'm not getting a lot of hard fact out of here about what you did. Like completely revamped one of the ongoing projects with the latest front-end technologies. Well, what technologies? You know, what was that revamp that you had to do? Raven's Creations, appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much for helping contribute to the diversity in tech. Thank you. Appreciate that very, very much. All right, so let's dig into the project. So similar to what I said on a previous resume review, the project needs to tell me, was it a solo or a group project? Was it and what does the user do? So in this case, paper pay. It helps schools accept payments faster. Great. That's a good user statement. I know now exactly why I would be looking at this application. Simplified for small schools to enable hassle-free online payment. Awesome. That's a really strong start to telling me about this project. From there, built a web-based platform to collect and manage school fees using React, Redux, Firebase, and so on. Great. I would probably format this a little bit differently though. I think the user statement can be a sentence, and then after that, give me bullet points of like what you learned while building the project, and then what was the tech stack that you used. Like in this case, you had to learn Stripe. Chakra UI, never heard of it, but I know Firestore, Cloud Functions, so you're doing some serverless work with React and Redux using Firebase. Great. But you don't list Stripe over here as something that you've done. I would, instead of calling it like just cloud computing services, I would call it like online service familiarity or something where you're listing GCP, Firebase, Stripe, Firestore, Cloud Functions, and then in parentheses put the word serverless on there, because those are the kinds of terms that someone might be looking for. Like I'm looking for someone who knows serverless. Well, in this case, you've done Cloud Functions. That's serverless architecture. That would flag your resume. Student attendance management system, offering a link. So again, if you can link to GitHub and a live version of your product, that's better. If the link is just going to GitHub, then tell me that the link is GitHub. Like actually call the link text, say GitHub, so that when I click on it, I know I'm going to GitHub. I could hover over it and see that it's GitHub, but if you actually put the word GitHub on there, then I know that it's going to take me, or expect it's going to take me to GitHub. Hey, J-Buck, good to see you in chat. Just lurking. Cool, no problem. So for that student attendance, again, I think this is a good user statement to get started, but it's starting with it's starting with you. You developed a web-based attendance management system to track student attendance. Well, you already told me it was managing attendance, so you don't have to repeat that. But there's the user statement's kind of in the middle of this overall statement of like, I built this thing using React. When I think of user empathy statements, I think of what would I tell a VC, if I was in an elevator, and they literally call it the elevator pitch, where you've got like 15 seconds to explain, I built an app for a user to do blah, blah, blah. You're not going to get in that elevator and say, hey, I developed a web-based system using React and Redux and Node.js, Express, UI, blah, blah, blah. Ding, they walk out of the elevator and you haven't even told them what the app is or who you built it for or why they should care. So the user empathy statement needs to say something like, I built an app where users can, school administration can track student attendance. That's a user empathy statement. And then tell me, I built this using React and Redux and I learned the following technologies and so on. Sentiment analysis of Amazon Alexa reviews. Analyzed the Amazon Alexa reviews. Well, you already told me that as part of the project name, so you don't have to repeat that again. For positive and negative sentiments. So you could just say analyzed reviews for positive or just sentiment, because sentiment is going to be positive or negative or neutral. So I would shorten this, analyzed reviews for sentiment. Well, again, you've already told me sentiment analysis. Tell me how many things you reviewed. Analyzed 4,000 reviews using various natural language processing. So again, NLP, I know what NLP is, but the average recruiter doesn't know what that is. They may be told by, an engineering manager, like, hey, we need people that have done natural language processing. So they're literally typing in natural language processing. Your resume wouldn't hit on that unless they happen to know that's also called NLP and they put that in as a search term. Your resume is not going to get a hit on there. So in this case, you have to be careful about putting industry-specific terminology in acronym form like this. You need to spell this stuff out at least once on the page so that it'll hit on those words. And then later on, they can say, what was NLP? I think I saw that earlier. And then they'll be like, oh, natural language processing. So again, I would put NLP up in your skills block. So for this one, I would say, I would reword, kind of this whole statement, say analyzed 4,000 reviews or however many reviews, like quantify that for me. Analyzed 4,000 reviews for positive/negative sentiment using NLP technologies like random forest and gradient boosting classifier. I like that you've got achieved an accuracy of 72.9, like putting those kinds of things in there is great. But yeah, I think you could reword this a little bit. Now, in this case, there's no real user sentiment or user empathy kind of statement to make because you wrote this software specifically for data analysis. So it's not like someone else is going to use this to kind of find this. This is a project that you built for yourself. So in this case, you don't need a user empathy statement. Two-factor auth. In addition to your password, you also need a code generated by the Google Authenticator app on your phone. Users will get a time-based one-time password built using Django. So again, your user empathy statement's in the middle of this. And I would also call this like two-factor auth demo or something like that. And then the user empathy statement is users can get a, or just say, how would I word that? Because you don't want to say like, I built a project for users to demonstrate 2FA. But I mean, that's kind of the point that you want to get across in that user empathy statement. Like, in this case, though, this feels more like a demo that you built for yourself. Again, similar to the last project. This is something that you built for you, or a project that you built for school to demonstrate that you know how to implement this kind of thing. So it's not so much like I built an app for other users to also go use Google Authenticator. You're just demonstrating that you can connect to Google Authenticator and the user can pass back a token and you get verification that they've authenticated. So in this case, I would just say like demo project for users to get a time-based one-time password. And then tell me Google Authenticator, built using Django and so on. But again, your average recruiter probably doesn't know that Django equals Python. Did you do test-driven development? What kind of database did you use? Did you have to use a database or not? Give me more than just Django. A hiring manager who's going to be proficient in technologies is going to know that, oh, that's where you did Python. Any other recruiter looking through this is like, where did you actually learn Python? You tell me up here in your skills block you know Python. I don't see Python anywhere on the page. I also didn't see Kotlin anywhere on the page. I didn't see C++ anywhere on the page. You claim to know these as skills, but you don't tell me how you know them. I've seen React, I've seen Node, I've seen Django and Express. I don't think I've seen GraphQL on here. So like, how did you come to know those skills? Are those skills even going to be important for the jobs where you're applying? If you only kind of know them, I wouldn't put them on the resume. If you've actually used them in a project, I would keep them in a resume, but I would want to see the project where you've actually used GraphQL. If those technologies were parts of your internships, then you need to tell me that as part of your internship, like technology stack or tech stack, and then tell me the technologies that you used at those internships. So I think that there's a lot more information that you can tell me here in this resume to show me, like you've shown me the skills that you know. You've kind of shown me where you've used some of those skills, but not a lot of these skills. And so I would look at this and go, okay, some of this stuff fits, some of it doesn't. The stealth startup thing doesn't fit at all based on what I was able to verify, here online, looking at the LinkedIn profiles that you provide as references. That doesn't line up. So for me, I would be throwing this resume out, go, no, something about this doesn't add up, pass. Now the recruiter might have flagged it for a hiring manager to say like, hey, should I call this person? And the hiring manager is going to write back and say no. And they just pass on your profile. And so in this particular case, the resume that was submitted came with a note saying, I'm submitting this resume and I'm not getting phone calls. I think this is why. So hopefully that list of advice is going to be helpful. Again, it will depend a little bit on the companies where you're applying, but I think building a larger resume with all these skills, tell me a lot more about your projects, tell me a lot more about your internships, build a really big resume. And when you're ready to apply for a particular job, figure out what's important to that company. What technologies does that company care about? What is that company doing? What kinds of technologies are they learning? Trim your resume down and only keep the stuff that they're going to care about. Trim everything else out. And I think that maybe reformatting into a single column may also help the wrapping of some of these bullet points. So when a human being reads a bullet point list, we're typically only picking up the first couple of words of the bullet point. So responsible for the development, anonymization application, improving user development rate, developed front end for calling based, completely revamped, frequently involved. Like that's all I'm really reading as I'm skimming over this page. The very first time I'm skimming over this page, I'm literally spending like 6 to 10 seconds trying to find keywords in a hurry of should I call this person? The recruiter's also doing that, by the way. So the recruiter's kind of skimming over it a little bit going, I see some of the keywords that the hiring manager told me to look for. I'm going to send it on to them and find out from them whether I should call you. So typically the recruiter isn't calling you without consulting the hiring manager first. Like they're not going to look at this and go, wow, this is a cool resume. I'm going to call them, find out what they're interested in, and then find out from the hiring manager if I should have spent that time calling you. They're going to have them vetted a little bit more before they call you. And in this case, I think it's not passing that vetting point because of what I've sort of reviewed here on the resume for you. So hopefully that's helpful. I'm going to just scroll back through chat here a little bit just to see if there are other comments. Nope. Cool. So I'll wrap that up as a resume review, and then I'll get into some of the other comments here in chat. So someone was asking, where do I submit a resume? So here's the link. I'm going to go back over to my other view here. And if you want to get in on the giveaway, you can do !dragon. I am giving away 3D printed dragons. So yeah, Noob Coder, good to see you as well. So the link is over here to actually send me a PDF file of your resume. I do ask that you anonymize your name and your contact information because I do this online. And that the video on demand, the VOD, will stay on Twitch for a couple of weeks, but I also upload these videos to YouTube later. So please anonymize your contact info on the resume. I don't want to expose like your real name and your real phone number and so on. But yeah, I'll do them for free on the stream. If you want a private one, I do charge $50 for that, but all of that money is going into a pot to do a fundraiser for diversity in tech. DEI and night, or day and night. Okay, cool. Good to see you. Thanks for the follow. I'll give you a hello.
Welcome.
Welcome. You've got mail.
Surprise!
Surprise. Yeah, I've got like a little random thing, so I never know what it's going to play when I hit that button. Just applause. All right. Cool. Well, good to have you dropping by day and night. And Noob Coder, good to see you as well. Let me scroll back through chat. Let me see if I missed anything else in here. Coder, good to see you as well. Let me scroll back through chat. Let me see if I missed anything else in here. Let me scroll back through chat. Let me see if I missed anything else in here. Let me see if I missed anything else in here. Bang resume. Oh, it's a resume review. Exclamation point resume won't work until I get rid of stream elements completely. Dragon. So that one's gonna take a minute. Let me see. Did I miss anything else in here? J-Buck said I'm an old fart just lurking. No worries. Thanks for dropping by, old fart. I was about to go, you got mail with that sound effect. Yeah, exactly. That's why I found it. I'm like, there's got to be some cool sound effects out there that I can find that us old farts will know all about. Yeah, good times. I figured all the people that chime in, I know how old you are. I know roughly how old you are. So, Dragon. So yeah,
Hello.
hello. Thank you for the using the stickers. It's a lot of fun. So a bunch of them are free. Feel free to slap some stickers on there. I forget. Some of them are fun. Some of them come with sound effects. If the sound effects are too loud, let me know. I'll turn the sound effects down. Let's see. I don't have the drop game on the screen, I don't think. Nope, I don't. I don't think I do. Nope, not on that screen. Let me go get, well, I'll do that later. I'll get the drop game on here. Cave Manners, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. Let me give you some blinky lights and a hello. Hello. Thanks for dropping by. I'm Ian Douglas. I'm the author of this website, Tech Interview Guide, and I'm just here helping people out. So feel free to do exclamation point dragon. I am giving away some 3D printed dragons as part of a fundraiser that I'm doing for the month, where I'm raising money for diversity in tech. Yeah, so I'm giving away lots of different styles of those. And yeah, you can redeem channel points for some of those emojis that I've got. I think I actually unlocked another tier where I can add some more emojis, so I'll add some more custom emojis as I'm able to. Let's see what else is going on. If you've got other questions about like tech interview, career prep, resumes, cover letters, all that kind of stuff, please know that I also give advice in generalized ways that are helpful to other industries. So if you're not in the tech industry, you're not expecting to get into the tech industry, I'm still here to help people out with my views and perspectives, understanding that they are my views and perspectives, and you don't have to follow my advice. I'm happy to at least lend my thoughts. So feel free to drop those in. And if you are curious about asking a question and you want it to be anonymous, you can use the anonymous way to submit a question. You can basically just send a whisper to the bot. So you can click on the bot's name and say you want to whisper the bot, and it'll actually show up as an anonymous question. I'm going to hydrate. Been chatting for a little while, almost 2 hours straight. So I'm going to hydrate a little bit, but feel free to drop some stuff in here. Noob Coder says you have an Amazon system development interview in the next 2 or 3 days. Ah, congrats. For an engineer role. Sweet. I'm going to go grab some water because this is empty. Noob Coder, tell me a little bit more about like what level of role you're applying to, and if there's anything I can do to help you out, any kind of advice or suggestions and things like that. I'll be right back. I'm getting another drink. Hello, I'm good. My kid's like, how are you? I'm a little dehydrated. I'm a little parched. I don't know that drinking sparkly drinks on stream is necessarily a wise move. They tend to make me burp. I will do my best not to burp in the microphone on you. Entry level role, fresh grad. Awesome. Cool. Well, good luck with the interview. You've probably been studying your butt off with data structures and algorithms and things like that. So good for you for getting the interview. I wish you all the best for getting that. If you do have questions about anything that I can help you prep in the meantime, I'm happy to do that. I went through an Amazon interview back in December, and I got through all the technical portions of the interview. I did not pass their leadership principles interview phase. It was like an all day thing. It was like 5 hours of behavioral questions. And they wanted all of your answers to be recent answers, and you couldn't repeat yourself. And it was the hardest part of the entire interview process, to be honest. What I don't like about Amazon is they won't give you any feedback whatsoever of any kind, no matter what. So they won't tell you whether you did well or whether you did not do well, even if you get the job. Even if they make you a job offer, they will not give you any feedback on what you did well or not, which is disappointing. It was super disappointing. The only thing that I've heard about Amazon is that they will tell you how soon you can reapply if you don't get an offer, and that the length of time that they tell you to reapply gives you the tiniest bit of feedback as to how well you did. So if they tell you, hey, we're not going to hire you for that team, but you can reapply right away, that means you actually passed pretty much everything. It's just they didn't want you on that particular team. But other companies like Google and other tech companies, if you don't fit in on that team, they'll find another team that wants you. But with Amazon, when you start getting into the interview process, you are interviewing for a specific team. And if that team doesn't want you, then apparently the recruiter team are instructed to tell you that you can reapply right away. It's not always 6 months. If they tell you you can reapply in 6 months, that means that you passed everything except the leadership principles portion. And if they say reapply in a year, that means you didn't pass the technical portion. What I was also told was that if you don't pass the technical portion, you won't even get the leadership principles portion. The fact that I made it through the leadership principles portion and was told to reapply right away just meant that that team didn't want me, and that I was able to reapply right away for some other team, that I already passed all of the technical expectations that they had. I got to a point where that team didn't want me. So that's my understanding of it, is that based on that amount of time that they tell you to reapply, gives you some indication of how you did. If they tell you 6 months, that means you didn't pass the final stage, like the leadership principles. If they tell you a year, it means you didn't pass the technical portion. That's my understanding from 2 other people that work at Amazon. Whether that's accurate or not, I can't verify because Amazon doesn't give you feedback. But that's what I was told by 2 people at Amazon, that you kind of know how you did kind of overall by how soon they tell you to reapply. If anybody has information to verify that or to confirm that that's not true, I would love to hear it. Arstomaniac was told to reapply in a year. So in that case, you maybe didn't pass the technical portion of what they were expecting, according to my 2 sources. So I will give that as a caveat. I'm going to go check on that rainbow print real quick. I'll be back in like 30 seconds. Chat amongst yourselves. It's a really nice film. Yeah, absolutely did not sit. It's a really nice film. You do me a favor. You go over here and switch over to OBS to alt tab over OBS. And click on scene 4. Scene 4? Yeah. Room view? Or yeah, room view. That's the not on camera sitting in your chair. I'm still like very comfortable. Yeah, it'd be good enough. I'm gonna keep some of the prep. Do you want it to keep switching through the scenes, or do you want it to stay? It'll switch itself. Okay. I have a Python script that does switch. All right. I was just wondering, do I want it to stay on? Okay. Nope. It changes the view like right now, but then 30 seconds later it switches to the next one in the sequence. Okay. There's a really neat Python script to figure that stuff out. Okay. Yeah, if you want to nerd out on some Python, I'll show you how to do that stuff in OBS. I'd love to have the other transition scripts and stuff like that for that OBS. If you want to nerd out on that, it'd be great. that show on the stream? Not on my stream, no. It's showing on Stream Deck. Right. So, like, over here, everybody, my or the tech interview, yeah. So if we go over here to twitch.tv maker deck. So I'm currently, I have my printers over on maker deck right now. So am I on the stream? Yeah. So here it is here, and it's cycling through those cameras. So there's the third one, or there's the room view, and then it'll kind of go between the other scenes that we're in OBS. Yeah. Hi, stream. That's my 13-year-old who did some cool robotics work with Lego Mindstorms, right? Did you ever figure out how to like convert the blocks into actual code? No? Yeah, he was doing like a Lego Mindstorms thing at their school. They're preparing for next year to get back into the competitive aspect of Lego Mindstorms and like robotics programming, stuff like that. He's been having a lot of fun. And he loves nerding out on Python. So we were talking a little bit about the transition script that I have to go from scene to scene over on MakerDeck, where you can actually see my printers, and it's actually cycling through the, the different views of my printers over there. Someone in chat said, "Hi team, keep up the good work." He says, "Okay." Thank you for the encouragement. He's both my kids have a lot of fun with technology. They love like nerding out on Minecraft and stuff like that. I did tell you that there's a way to do that in Python, right? You can do Minecraft programming in Python. We'll have to tinker with that sometime too. That one was using the Raspberry Pi to do the piano, but you can also just write like regular Python code to interact with like the Java edition or the Bedrock edition on a computer, and it'll actually like do that programming, so it doesn't have to be through a Raspberry Pi. Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah. I think I've got some PDF books about Minecraft coding too. I'll dig those up for you. Alrighty. So, how are we doing on that giveaway? We have 21 viewers in chat. Hello, chat. Hope you're all doing well. Let's give everybody. I had way too much fun with sound effects today. Anyway, ta-da. Epicat, good to see you in chat. Actually, let me just scroll back in chat here a little bit. So Noob Coder, just following up on the Amazon thing from Noob Coder. I failed the last interview in November. Their HR interview for software development engineer passed their 2 technical interviews. Okay. So you're reapplying. So, all right, cool. Good for you. Good luck in a couple of days. I hope it goes well. Cave Manners, good to see you. Stumbled on this channel 20 minutes ago, and there's so much good info in here. Appreciate that. Thanks. I've been streaming for almost a year, and a lot of those videos are up on YouTube. So go check out my YouTube channel over here. It's just youtube.com/Ian Douglas. And all of my previous streams are over there. I've also clipped out portions of previous streams as shorter videos. And there's also a podcast. I don't know if Bang Podcast still works or not. It does. So I've also clipped out audio from those segments, and I put it on a podcast, so you can go see information about that. I have not uploaded any new podcast audio since like late December. So I need to get on that. My kids are actually going to be helping me with that over the next couple of weeks, slicing up those videos and so on. But Gabe Manners, it's good to have you here. Thank you for dropping by. Always appreciate like follows and things like that. So thank you for the follow. I love helping people out. I've been in the tech industry for 26 years, and all of that information's up here on techinterview.guide. As well as YouTube channel, and you can go back and look at previous VODs here on Twitch as well. I love helping people out, and I do resume reviews. I do job post critiques, which are lots of fun. I love roasting job posts. I've been a hiring manager. I've been a director of engineering, and I know how things can be done so much better in our industry, and kind of give a glimpse into like why things are the way they are. So I love to kind of help people out. RC Maniac says, Amazon was my first interview when trying to get a new job. I hadn't interviewed for over 5 years prior to that, and it wasn't until later that I was told, you're good at everything except system design. So that would probably knock me out of the technical side of the interview. Let me go get a quick resource for you, not specifically for RC Maniac, But let me go get, I want to go get my favorite system design resource for people. This is one of the best system design things I've seen in a long time. So go check this out. My understanding is, I don't know if they pronounce their name Donnie Martin or Don Martin, but they've got a GitHub link of just tons of material on system design. What I typically say about system design is you need to design a system like Bob Ross paints a painting. He doesn't start with the happy little tree with the granular detail. He starts with a really big, high level sky view of here's the sky, here's the clouds, and then here's the mountain and the foothills, and then you start getting into the big trees, and then you get into like all the fine detail on the happy little trees and the bushes and the rocks and things like that. And you have to do system design the same way. You have to think of like what's the big picture. Let me make sure I keep that big picture in mind, like where's the light coming from and things like that, the way that he paints his painting. Like you want to be consistent about all of that, but you need to do it gradually, getting into the finer detail on all aspects of what your system is that you are designing. But that resource is one of the best sort of culminations and of like a whole bunch of information all in one spot. So go check that out. I think it's a great resource. Epicat asked a question in chat. So we had a question in chat. I have an online assessment soon. Part of the assessment is selecting the best way to implement a new feature. This is for a front-end developer. They suggested thinking about slow runtime, user experience issues, etc. I'm not sure how to prepare for this line of questioning. Do I have any recommendations? There's a handful of things here that we can do. From a user experience point of view, you want to make sure they always have a good experience, even if something on the back end starts to fail. So if you're building out something where you're making a fetch call, what happens if that fetch call fails? What should you do? So you want to make sure that any kind of error that you get back, that you handle that in an appropriate way, that you can give your user a good experience saying, sorry, something went wrong, check back in a little while. For things like how to implement new features, in production systems, I've done things like, what we call a feature flag, where a particular account has to have a feature flag turned on saying that Ian is allowed to see this feature. So the next time I log in, I see it. That gives you control as a programmer over who gets to see that particular feature as you're building it out, as you're improving it, taking their feedback, where it's still in production, but not everybody gets to interact with it. So thinking of the idea of feature flags is something you could consider. Thinking about slow runtime, the runtime may not necessarily be on the front end. It might be on the back end. So again, how do you give your user a good experience if something is slow on the back end? So not even from the failure point of view that I just mentioned, but what if it's just really slow? So things like little animations of like spinners and things like that, where the user can visually see that something is happening. Now, for visually impaired people, they're not going to see those animations. So you might need to figure out, how can I hook into things like screen readers to say, your data is being processed, please wait. You could look into things like that. Again, for the user experience point of view and trying to keep everybody accommodated with what you're building. Another one that I consider when it comes to user experience is color blindness. Not everybody can see red and green. Not everybody can see orange and blue. And so finding good color schemes and using icons of like a checkbox for, what would otherwise be green and an X for something that might otherwise be red, using iconography to make it very clear, like this is a good path, this is a bad path of how you want to direct their experience. Let's see, what else might I recommend? Chat, if you've also got ideas in chat for things like this, I would love other input on here as well. Those would be kind of the primary ones. So when you're talking about like slow runtime and issues and things like that, it's sometimes out of your control as a front-end developer. It's going to be, you're dealing with lag or you're dealing with problems on the back end, and how do you handle that in a way that gives your user a good experience? So as I mentioned, animation spinners, iconography to let them know what's going on. If you can hook into things where screen readers would actually read out a prompt saying, your data is processing, the page will refresh in a few moments or whatever to check on status, things like that. Having some way of letting the user know immediately, like, hey, we got your submission, we're processing it, we'll give you some sort of alert or notification when that's done, or we'll refresh the page once it's done. things along those lines I think would be really helpful from that UX perspective. Um, Aside from that, like how can you speed up things like your React and things like that? Well, depends how or whether you're using tooling like local storage. Do you need to cache things or not? Do you do sort of what we call pass-through caching, where you're hitting something on the back end, and when it comes back, you're caching it so you don't have to go hit it again if it's been recent enough. Like if it's only been 5 minutes since the last time they checked their list of friends, it probably hasn't changed. Um, so, do you cache things? Do you not cache things? Those will definitely speed up some of that. But from a front end perspective, keep in mind that as a front end developer, you're using my CPU and my RAM and my storage. You're not a back end developer where if I write really bad code, I'm slowing down a server or I'm using memory on a server somewhere. You as a front end developer are in a lot of control over my experience within my browser. You're using my CPU, you're using my RAM, you're using my disk, not some server somewhere. And so adding too much tooling on the front, like logging and caching and so on, can also have a negative impact on my user experience. So you have to keep some of those things in mind as well. Hope that helped. Hey, Whip, good to see you. Let's see what else we got going on. So yeah, let's get in. Let's get some more Bang Dragons in there, and we'll do the other giveaway. I did promise I was going to do a giveaway once I finished that other resume review. Noob just sent over a noob level resume. Awesome. Dev Crush, good to see you as well. More count. Feature flags are designed to be removed. Yeah. So once the feature's actually rolled out, you don't want to have to set like a global flag, like now everybody can see it. So yeah, at that point, you would just remove the feature flag capability for whatever that feature is and just make it globally accessible for everybody. Yep. RC Maniac also shared a system design as well. I'm actually going to make a copy of that myself because I'm always on the lookout for ways of helping other people out. So thanks, RC Maniac, for sharing resources as well. So I'm absolutely cool with people like dropping links and stuff in my chat as long as it's helping the community at large. I don't want like spam and stuff like that. But if you have a resource that's going to help with interview preparation, career preparation, interview questions and things like that, by all means, you're welcome to drop that in chat as we go. RCManiac says not always to remove the feature flag. Sometimes it's easier to write the code now than later. So you write it with it disabled by default. Then once the product and others are ready, you turn it on. If it doesn't work, you can turn it back off. I mean, the way that I've done feature flags is you gradually roll it out. So you would enable it for a couple of trusted customers or engineers that have accounts on your server, and you get them to try it out, give you that feedback, and then you might roll it out to like 1% of your users. So you do a setting in your database that says go find like a random 1% of my users and roll that out. And then if watch that for a couple of days, watch your logging and so on. If that's working out, maybe reduce some of the logging and turn it on for 5%. If that works out, maybe reduce some of the logging and roll it up for 10%. And if it seems to be stable, then yeah, you just turn it on for everybody. And then, you can gradually like roll it back if something goes wrong. That's how like big companies like Google, they roll things out that way. They roll it out to very small percentages and it kind of grows over time. That's one type of feature flag. Yeah. And I agree with RC Maniac that there are other feature flags where like you write the code of like, this feature is disabled by default. And now it's turned on for everybody. Or you can gradually turn it on. We did things at SendGrid where we would like randomly set a cookie. So when you logged in, it randomly set a cookie and you had like a 50-50 split for like A/B testing something. And one group of users saw one interface, the other set of users saw another interface, and then we could kind of gauge like what was their workflow, how did they work through that interface, and then from there we could make better decisions about like, oh, this group of users went down this path, this group of users went down that path. And then you can kind of refine that. And then you say, okay, well, now we're not A/B testing anymore, but the feature is also not ready for everybody yet. And so then you could switch over to a different kind of feature flag where that feature flag says, okay, roll this out for just a couple of trusted users, have them try it, and then do that gradual rollout from there. So yeah, there's lots of different kinds of feature flags, but that would be one consideration. But it would be in conjunction with your backend development team. So it's not something necessarily that the front-end developer would be checking on, because anything the front end does, the user can see. They can see that JavaScript and they can see all the backend calls that you're making. and they could be like, oh, this feature flag, is set to false by default. What happens if I set this to true and send that back over? What's going to happen? And so users can manipulate the JavaScript and styling and things like that. And so that would be something that you would do in conjunction with your backend team. RC Maniac says, I tend to deal with feature flags where my team doing backend has time now, but the client front end team tend to be finishing other things. So I've moved on to other tasks, but the product team say I'm ready now, and then we turn it on. Yep. Whether or not a user saw it is controlled by a product, such as A/B testing. Yep. But from a backend system point of view, I would probably start with it disabled. Yeah, I think that's a good way to think about it. And having some sort of admin interface where you can enable it for either particular users or enable it for a percentage of users, or just say like turn it on for everybody because it's ready to go. Those are all different ways of building that stuff in for sure. Yeah. Epicat asked, do you think they would expect me to talk about algorithms with that? Like this function would take longer to run than the other function? Potentially. Front-end developers, again, you have control over my CPU. And so if you write really slow code, you're impacting my computer. In my experience, though, front-end developers tend not to be asked as much about data structures and algorithms as back-end developers. Not always the case, though. It depends on the company. If the company really cares about good user experience, then yeah, they could absolutely ask you to break down time complexities and say, what's the average or worst case time complexity on this particular algorithm? And you'd have to go through and kind of break that down, see how things are nested and looped and functions calling other functions, and try to calculate that out yourself. So yeah, it is a possibility. Is it likely? Maybe not. Not necessarily, but it's possible. Again, in my experience, we tended not to ask front-end developers too much about things like time complexities. But I do know other companies that ask time complexities of everybody just to see what is your depth of knowledge. What do you know? What don't you know? All right. Cool. I think it's time for another giveaway. There are 26 people viewing the channel at the moment. Well, somewhere between 22 and 26 people. We have 10 entries in the giveaway, which means a bunch of you don't want a cool 3D printed dragon. I've got enormous 3D printed dragons like this that glow in the dark with a cool sparkle filament. I've got medium-sized dragons like this, which are just a nice, cool, like stone sort of marble filament. But the star of the show are these dragons. These are the articulated dragon models that we're giving away. And I will be putting some of these other dragons in the box as well in much more miniature form. So I've got them printed up much smaller in a copper filament, as well as a two-tone blue and aqua color filament. And the recipients of the giveaways tonight will be getting those. And you will get to choose the style of this style of dragon, or this style of dragon. This is called the Imperial Dragon. So we're about to do a giveaway. So go do !dragon in chat. And these are shipping anywhere in the world. So if you are domestic, if you're in the United States, I'm going to be mailing a bunch of these out Saturday morning. If you're in the United States, you should get it by Wednesday next week, maybe Thursday next week at the latest. If you are overseas, it's going to take a couple of weeks to get there, at least, probably 3 to 4 weeks to arrive if you do not live in the United States. I have a couple of these going up to Canada. Those will take maybe a week, week and a half to arrive. International shipping. Yep, exactly. Icy Black Deep, good to see you in chat. So yeah, these are going all over the world. I've got them going to Estonia, Norway, Finland, Germany, UK, Rwanda, Africa, and India currently. So yep. So Magnificent username guy has the right idea. Let's get some hype in chat. We got some free dragon stickers you can slap on the screen. Let's get some hype going, and we'll draw another giveaway winner. And the recipient of the giveaway, you'll get to choose the style of dragon. Do you want the regular dragon, like the one with the yellow horns, or do you want the Imperial Dragon? I have a few of them printed up. I'm printing more of them right now. I'll be right back.
Dragon. Dragon. dragon, 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 dragon.
All I hear in my earbuds are like dragon, dragon, dragon. Look at all the dragons on the screen. This is great. So the rainbow filament that I just changed out failed, but it is a really nice translucent kind of filament, but you can definitely see that sparkle in there. So this is a translucent rainbow sparkle filament that I'm printing some dragons in, and if that works out, I may order a second roll. Look at all the dragons on the screen. My goodness.
Dragon.
Stone Monkey Research. I was just reminded of Yakko Sings The Nations of the World. Is Nate downstairs? My youngest son has memorized most of that song. So. Wow! Oh, thanks for the stickers. So yeah, so the winner of the giveaway will get to choose the style of dragon that you would like, and you are going to get a couple of these little mini dragons in the box just because. And you'll get to choose from there the color. Now we had a giveaway winner earlier who chose the Imperial Dragon, but they wanted me to choose the color. Well, I have 3 of them printed, and so if you are the next recipient and you also choose Imperial, you are also going to get to choose which color you would like, and then our other winner is going to get one of the other ones from there. So that will be our choice. One thing that I did not do, I completely neglected to do, which was super important, was to write down the name of the person who won the last giveaway. Does anybody remember who it was that won the last giveaway? I'm a bad host. Who won our last giveaway? Does anybody remember? I'm going to scroll back through chat here and see if I can find it. Got all our Amazon stuff. Who won the other giveaway? Does anybody remember?
Dragon.
Raven's Creations.
Dragon.
Was it? You're not lying to me, right? Send me your full name and mailing address if you have not already, because I need to know where I'm shipping that Imperial Dragon for you. So, Raven's Creations. So you wanted an Imperial Dragon in some random color. So I will choose the random color once we figure out who's winning this next one. So let's see some more dragon stickers. Drop some hype in chat. And yeah, good thing OBS lets me scroll back like really, really far on there. So yeah. Cool, cool, cool. All right, well, we've had some hype. We've had some stickers. Yeah, you can do bang stickers to find out about stickers. If you're viewing this on the desktop Twitch, you can scroll down. You can see the stickers. I'm not sure how to do it, or if you even can do it using a mobile device. But yeah, the recipient of tonight's dragons will receive one each of these 2 miniature dragons in the box. So this one's kind of a silk copper, and this one is the 2-tone, like dark blue, light blue sort of color. And yeah, and I'm going to continue printing 3D dragons all the way up to the end of the giveaway. Once we hit the end of the month, just however many dragons I got left, I'm going to draw that many winners. So tonight we're going to draw one more. So if you want to get in on this, !dragon, Noob Coder, yep, I've got a bunch of videos up on YouTube. You can go check those out. Basically all the career advice and stuff that I give here on Twitch, I'm putting up on YouTube. I've also done some other ones where I've like do some live coding and whatever with my chatbot that I've been building, like how I built the giveaway and things like that. I've done little streams about that. I don't remember if I put those on YouTube or not. They might be. But Arcemaniac's going to be right back. No worries. So Raven's Creations wanted to be surprised. So they chose the style of dragon, but they said to surprise them. So that's brave. Oh, Raven's Creations, while you're there, since you were our first giveaway recipient, I need a random number from you between... Actually, I'm going to do this. Give me a random number up to 37. I have more subscribers than that. But when I tell people, give me a random number from 1 to 60, it tends to be in the high end. So I want to pick a random email subscriber from a little bit earlier in the database. Appreciate the hype stickers on there as well. It's, if you find the audio too loud, let me know and I'll turn the audio down on the stickers. But yeah, appreciate the extra hype and all the stickers on there. 15. All right. Thank you. So basically, what I'm going to do with that is I have a daily email series, and you can see that link over here in chat. And that email series gives you a new email every day for 6 weeks. And that email is going to give you kind
Dragon.
of the interviewer's perspective on why we ask questions.
Dragon.
Not necessarily like, here's how to come up with the perfect answer.
Dragon.
It's telling you why we asked that question in the first place. Why is that question important to me as a hiring manager or as a company? And so I examine that kind of thing. So I do go through like top questions and popular questions that you'll get in interviews, but from an interviewer's perspective. When you critique a job post, can we send a specific job post? Yeah, absolutely.
Hello.
Hello. We'll do that after the giveaway. How's that? If you want to redeem some channel points for a job post, yeah, you can absolutely post it in here, and I will critique it. Let me know though, is it like your company or one that you wrote? Because I might be, yeah, I will get a little salty with those job posts. No lie there. But yeah, you can drop it. If it's like legit, like just one that you saw and you want to get my take on it, I'm happy to do that. If it's one that you've written though, or it's like from your company, let me know and I'll be maybe a little gentler about it. But we'll have some fun with it. It's one you found on Indeed. Let's do it. Let's do the thing. We're gonna do the giveaway first though. So we're gonna draw a winner. Let's see, how many folks do we have? We have 12 entries. It's been running for 2 hours. There's 21 of you here, which means 9 of you don't want a 3D printed dragon. It is unfortunate. Even my teenager says it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Let's see your shirt. Choose your weapon. I bought him this t-shirt for Christmas, not thinking about the fact that he probably can't wear that to school. So we sent a picture of it to the school, and they're like, yeah, maybe not. So, but now he's on summer vacation, so he can wear it whenever he wants. But we love geeky humor like that. He's got another one of the periodic table. What does that one say? Wears the shirt periodically. And then the other one was the one with matter.
By speed of light squared.
Then your antimatter.
No, energy.
Oh, then your energy. Yeah, that's right. So, good times. Oh, look, a spam account. Really? Did we have a dirty, rotten spammer? Oh, Mr. Stone 15, you are banned. Manage that suspicious user. I don't want to manage them. I want to outright ban them.
Bans.
This user has not been banned in the channel. They're about to be as soon as I figure out how to do that. Yay, spam. Why you gotta spam? At least send me a follow or subscribe if you're gonna spam. I was able to ban the troll earlier. They don't make it easy to ban. Oh, there we go. I have to right click on the name and then go to ban. There we go. Bye-bye. Stone Monkey Research says, I prefer the game called Go over chess, but chess is cool too. Did you accidentally enter twice? No, you can only enter once. So yeah, you can try to enter again, but it's only going to register you one time. I have built that protection in my bot. Cool. Well, let's do a giveaway, shall we? We are still only at 12 entries. There are still, I mean, one count says 28 people viewing, which means more than half of you do not want a 3D printed dragon, which is a shame.
Dragon. Dragon.
So I'm going to hang out for
Dragon.
another couple of minutes so that
Dragon.
the other 9 to 19 of you have the opportunity. Yeah, I do use a hash set. That's exactly what I'm using on the back end. So yeah, you can try to enter as many times as you like, but you're in a unique set data structure, and so you will only get entered once. And I also lowercase your username, so if you're thinking about being clever and going over to Twitch and like changing the case sensitivity of your name, I already take that into account too. So. Nobody else is entering. So there's a whole bunch of lurkers in my channel. Is that what you're telling me? A bunch of you lurking and not doing a thing? I see how it is. That's okay too. We're going to go ahead and, oh, there's one more. Epicat, thanks for entering. Or were you already entered? Nope, you were a new entry. All right, we're just going to, well, we're at lucky 13 now, so I think it's a good time to do a giveaway. So the giveaway is closed. And let's do a giveaway, shall we? Hooray! All right, here's our winner. The recipient of a 3D printed dragon is Betts. Betts was saying earlier, I hope that I get a dragon. And you won the dragon. You got the thing. So congratulations, Betts. So Raven's Creations and Betts, I need you to send me a Twitch whisper with your full name and shipping address. I don't need your email. I don't need your phone number, but I do need your full name and your mailing address so that I can ship that out. If you are in the United States, then I will get those out Saturday morning. You should get them by Wednesday, maybe Thursday. And you can follow me on all the socials if you want to tag me on the socials with pictures. I would appreciate it. I'm on Twitter and Instagram, and you can tag me as Ian Douglas736, same as my Twitch username. Done. Thanks. Sweet. So Betts, you get to choose, do you want the regular dragon or do you want the Imperial dragon? So the regular dragon is a design by a designer called MacGyver. And I have a couple of colors of this one. Or we have our Imperial dragon, which is this one. And this one will actually, you can prop it up to sort of stand up and pose if I hold it just right in my hand. Stay, stay, stay. Good dragon. Oh, come on, stay. Stay. Silly dragon. Stay. You get the idea. So you get to choose regular dragon or Imperial dragon, and then from there, we'll choose your color. So yeah, these are really, really neat, and they're really, really big. They're really long. So the Imperial dragon is about 28 inches, 27 inches long, somewhere in there. And they are full of articulated hinges that all print in one piece. So there's nothing to assemble. There's nothing that's going to fall apart unless you physically break it. But yeah, basically all these little hinges all 3D print inside each other, and they kind of close around each other. And so when it finishes printing, you literally pull it off the print bed like this, and it moves. And you can pose it and do all kinds of interesting kinds of effects and drape them over things and so on. So you want the regular one. All right, so let me get you your color choices for the regular dragon. So good news, Raven's Creations. I'm going to randomly pick one of 3 for you. So Betts, you have the choice of 3 colors right now. We have the very bright and colorful rainbow filament. We have a nice medium orangey gold color, which is a little bit shiny. But this is a really nice sort of, you might call it like 14 karat gold. So it's not like bright yellow, like pure gold. It's kind of somewhere in between like a copper and a bright gold color. And then we have my favoriteest filament ever. You will have seen this in many pictures, and I've given this one away a bunch. But this is a 3-color filament, which transitions from, well, actually, you saw a bit of a preview. It's this one here. It goes from black, kind of a charcoal color, to a gold to a burgundy. But what was interesting about how they develop the filament and how they actually wind it on the spool, some of the filament will go black, gold, red, black, gold, red, and some of it will do the opposite, and it'll go black, red, gold, black, red, gold. Well, what happened with this one is it started on gold, and then it went red, and then it went black, and then I started running out of that filament. And the other spool that I put on started at black, then went to red, and then went to gold. And so you actually get more of the red and the black in here, and his horns just started turning a little bit gold here on the top again by the end of it. And so he's got a little bit of a gold stomach, but most of the body is red and black. And then it started going a little bit gold and red on the spikes on his back as it was printing up at the top. And so the very, very tops of his horns are just starting to get back into the gold. It's still mostly that rust color though. But this 3-color blend, you'll see a ton of photos of that. If you do Bang Dragons, you'll see a ton of these photos in that photo album, because I love this filament. This is my favorite filament. I will give you another view of that 3-tone filament. This one went from red to gold to black. And this was a print challenge that we did for another channel. And this is just meant to hold like rechargeable watches and rings and things like that. But I kind of supersized it a little bit. But this is what that filament looks like. It's a very shiny kind of filament, and it just transitions from one color to another and is a beautiful blend. Cool. So Bets, you get to choose which color of these regular dragons you would like. So you have the rainbow, you have the gold, or you have the 3-color blend. So you will get to choose which color of these you would like, and I will set that aside for you. And then I will set aside the Imperial one for Raven's Creations. While Bets is choosing that, I will remind everybody you are welcome to donate to the Diversity in Tech fundraiser. And any donation over $10, I will print you one of these dragons. If you do Bang Dragons and go look at the photo album that was just pulled up in chat over there, I can 3D print this dragon in any of the colors that you see on that page, and I will ship that to you. It'll take a little longer because I've got to actually like queue those up and get them printed and shipped. So if you don't receive one as a giveaway, you are welcome to donate, and I will print one for you in your color choice. So any donation over $10, all of that's going into my Diversity in Tech fundraiser. And then from that fundraiser, I'm matching those funds. And I'm going to be delivering that check in person to Back the Hood in San Francisco at the end of June. You couldn't find out how to donate. So you can do, so there's a couple of different ways. You can do Bang PayPal. You'll get my PayPal address. You can go to the website. There's a Buy Me a Coffee link on there. Or if you do Bang Donate, there's like a Stream Elements or like a Twitch donation page thing that you can do. And so however you donate. But I think if you send me money on PayPal or send me money through Buy Me a Coffee on the website, those are better. PayPal is even better because more of that money comes into the Diversity in Tech pool. Buy Me a Coffee keeps a very small percentage. PayPal does keep a small percentage as well. But Buy Me a Coffee keeps a little bit more than PayPal does. And the Twitch donation one, Twitch keeps a pretty good chunk of that donation. I get most of it, but then all that money's going in the pot. I'm matching everything in there. But the Twitch donation won't allow you to add a note as to which color of dragon you want. So I'd recommend PayPal because on there you can give me like your shipping address, and you can also add a note that tells me what color of dragon you would like. So if you want to donate as well, that would be fantastic. I appreciate that. But yeah, that's basically the notes over here that came up. So if you want to donate anonymously, you can do a tip thing. Don't use Stream Elements. Use the Own 3D Pro one. They will keep a tiny bit of it. So again, the better choice is either Buy Me a Coffee link on the website, or I think you do Bang PayPal. Bang PayPal. And Bets would like the 3-tone dragon. Don't blame you. That one is absolutely gorgeous. All right, so I'm setting that one aside for Bets. So Bets, don't forget to send me your name and mailing address. So Bets Weaver Bird wants a regular 3-color. And Raven's Creations wants an Imperial in a random color. Very brave. Very, very brave. Trying to decide which one I'm going to send you. I won't tell you on the stream. I will surprise you. And it's going to be a really, really nice filament. I mean, all these filaments are really nice, but I'll send you one. What else we got? Printing. So I'm printing a new one right now in this 3-tone color one. This one is for somebody else. But this is the Imperial Dragon in the same 2-tone blue color that these little models are printed in. And so this is the kind of effect that we can get with the 2-tone. This one actually had some of his horns break off, so I need to go in and smooth that out a little bit before I ship that one out. But yeah, so Bets and Raven's Creations, you're also going to get these little minis in the box as well. And I just want to make sure, yeah, I mean, the giveaway is close, so no one else could enter. I think that was it. Oh yeah, the sparkly rainbow filament. So that print failed, so I restarted it. hopefully that one's going to go a little bit more. But yeah, we can see it's kind of translucent, and it's got a bit of that sparkle in there that you can see. And this is kind of the first layer color, which is kind of a really deep blue. And from there, it looks like it's transitioning into a deep green color. So that rainbow filament won't be as bright as these colors. I think the blue is going to be pretty close to the blue, and maybe some of the burgundy will be close to that shade, but they're all like much darker shades. And then where this transition from blue to green to yellow, you don't see as much of the green, where on this spool, you do see a lot more of the darker colors. So that one's going to be pretty fun once that prints. And then, I've got another one printing in the aqua. I've got one in the rainbow filament, and then I've got another one, the MacGyver dragon, in a marble filament, which is this filament. It's the white filament that's the marble filament as well. So yeah, so I'll get more of those pictures posted as those print. You can also go watch those over on MakerDeck as well. So congrats to those folks that are recipients of our giveaway for tonight. For the other 23 of you viewing in the channel right now, appreciate you dropping by. Thank you for the questions in chat as well. Those are always great, as always. Raven's got a jet soon. Eastern time, got a bug to fix. Uh-oh. Current theory solution causes performance issues. Okay, well, good luck with that. Cool, let's go find somebody to raid. Looks like Freckled Science is online. We raided her a bunch. But let me log in real quick and see who else is streaming. Let's see. We got Minecraft, we got artwork, we got MakerDeck, we got music, we got 3D resin printing. Who's doing software? Somebody doing some Go programming, I think. Hacking a toaster oven into a PCB reflow oven. Interesting. Text-to-speech app for Twitch on Mac OS. Awesome, that'd be fun. Who else is online? Somebody else just started streaming, but I'm not really sure what they're streaming yet. But they're Canadian, so I'm kind of curious about streaming them just because they're Canadian. But let's see. Otherwise, we have some software development going on, and ads on ads on ads. Ads are annoying. Hey, we had a new follow come in. Tiffany, thanks for the follow. I've been following your channel for a while, so appreciate the follow back. Thank you for that. Give you some blinky lights and some hello. Always appreciate other streamers coming in and saying hi. Let's see, who are we gonna raid? I think we'll go raid over to Techie Girl. They're doing some text-to-speech app for Twitch on Mac OS. If you all like really clicky clacky mechanical keyboards, that one's going to be a fun channel. They've been streaming for about 10 minutes, so we'll go right over there, give them a bit of a surprise, and we'll see you over there. Give them a lot of noise in chat when we get over there, and we'll catch you over there. Thanks again for dropping by, everybody. I will be definitely streaming Sunday morning, but I may stream before then. Every stream I do, we're going to give away more of these dragons, so feel free to drop by. Someone mentioned Strager. I think I've followed them in the past. Let me just double check. Yeah, I've followed them in the past. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this one for tonight though. So we're gonna go raid into Techie Girl. Oh, you're already watching that channel. That's fine. Cool. So we'll see you over in Techie Girl's channel. Make a bunch of noise over in chat when you get over there, and we'll see you at least Sunday morning, but I'm probably going to stream sometime on Saturday, probably Saturday evening as well. So come back and hang out. I will be giving away more dragons, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for submitting the resumes. Thanks for the questions in chat, and we'll catch you over in Techie Girl's chat here in just a moment. Have a good night, everyone.